And we are live, I hope. We'll see if it shows up here. Hope we're live. I hope I didn't just create a new broadcast, which is possible. Okay, I think we're good. Welcome into a strategy video. Oh, I'm gonna have to, we'll see if I write that down. Welcome into a DFS strategy video. My name is Eric, and here at SweetSpotDFS, it's all about trying to hit the optimal lineup every single week. We went over a preview video yesterday where we went over all the stats that I think were important to build your lineups around. That meant looking at the bucket system. So I put a ton of videos out there for you. One just strictly of the bucket system, but you can watch the preview video. It's 2 hours long, pretty much 2 hours long. But that is available to you guys. So if that's something that interests you, go check it out. We're going to use all that information in this video. We're going to look at the SweetSpot ranks as well as the scores that go behind them. Look at the Marquee Tee Times, although golfers are, they're in pairings of 2. So that makes Marquee Tee Times a little difficult. I'll bring that up. I'll talk about that here shortly once we get to there. But then most of this video is going to be building lineups. So if you do come to chat, if you're already watching, have your questions ready. I'll build lineups using the bucket system to see if your favorite golfers can be built in those lineups. So let me know. Get those questions ready. I'll also be looking at chat throughout this just to make sure that if you have questions during any point in time that I will answer them. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with some giveaways. If you don't already know, my Stream Deck isn't working. That's not if you didn't already know, but it's just not working. All right, got it on the screen. If you didn't already know, I like to reward those that participate on the channel. So if you're interested, there's a weekly giveaway that I do that I give $5 away. You got to be subscribed. You got to comment down below on any of my videos. So all of the videos that I actually put out, you get 1 free entry per video that you comment on. That goes towards the entries for the giveaway. So I'll run the weekly giveaway in next week's preview video for this week. So go ahead, comment on all of the videos that I've already put out. You'll get 1 free entry per video there. Then you might have a chance to win $5. Those entries will also go towards the monthly giveaway that if we reach the goal all the way over there that you can see, 500 subscribers is the goal. If we can get that by the end of the month, I'm going to give away $50. If not, I'm going to give a t-shirt away that has this logo on it just to, again, reward those that participate on the channel. So hopefully, if you're not already subscribed, you hit that subscribe button down below and participate on the channel. Comment on any of the videos. If you need topics, give me your favorite golfers that you're going to build your lineups around. I think that's an easy way to do it. If you have anything that you might disagree with me on, feel free to leave that in the comment section. I'm very engaging with my audience, with the viewers. So let me know. And just case in point here. Hi, Joanne. How's it going? Hit the like button, people. Thank you. Yes, please hit the like button. That'd be great. You know what? I have to update something. I forgot with my Stream Deck not working. Like there's something weird going on with OBS right now that it isn't updating the things that I need it to. Doesn't give me my little buttons that I can quickly change. But anyways, I'm going to put in I think you could continue with Barry R, but I need to put a new subscriber in here. I forgot to do that. So Dominic, welcome. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Do that and you can kind of see how it works behind the scenes, how I update this. All right, moving on to the next giveaway. Although this isn't so much a giveaway, this is more of like a, it's not a refund. What would you, a rebate? That's pretty much what it is. If you sign up on PrizePicks using the promo code SweetSpot, there's a link in the description below that'll get you straight to the sign up page, by the way, and it'll already populate that promo code in there. That way you don't have to do anything. But you go to that link, type in, actually, if you go to the sign up page and you type in SweetSpot, put $20 in your account after signing up. I'm going to give you your $20 back plus Prize Picks will match your deposit up to $100. So that 20 turns into 40. And it really only costs you that initial sign up information as well as that initial deposit. So highly encourage you guys to go check that out. Again, link in the description below. Of course, I do provide a cheat sheet for you guys. So let me go ahead and put that on the screen. Oh, not my emails. Someone's already in the cheat sheet. Good to know. But you can go to this cheat sheet. All I do, or all I ask, is go up to the file menu, make a copy once you visit this. Once you do that, you're able to use all the filters that I provide. I have a filter per page, so you can see on this dream sheet portion of it, there's a filter, DraftKings. Go use that as I go throughout this video. It'll help you out if you're following along, especially if you're not here live asking questions. And then with the bucket system, I also have a filter for that. So again, once you click that link in the description below, it gets you to this cheat sheet. Go to file, make a copy. That way it's yours. That way you can use the filters that I like to use. I also am going to provide an optimizer, which I'll be using throughout this video. I'm going to be using this to build lineups using the bucket system, using all of the criteria that I like to do when building lineups. So this is all available to you as well. If you would like this, again, all you got to do is be subscribed, comment down below, or participate on the channel, and then email me at sweetspotdfs@gmail.com, and I will send you this optimizer. So that takes care of all of the giveaways. Kind of stumbled throughout most of that, but that is fine. There's a lot of moving parts right now that if my stream deck was working properly, we wouldn't have any issues. But that is out of my control right now. Let's go ahead. Let's get in this thing. Let's start talking, or let's start this strategy video out with the SweetSpot ranks and scores. So if you're on that cheat sheet, again, file, make a copy, put on that DraftKings filter, and then you can go ahead and filter down in the SS rank to show you who my #1 golfer is, or basically just my top golfers. Patrick Cantlay is my #1 golfer. Jon Rahm is second, followed by Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Brian Harman, so on and so forth. You see all the names. Now, I want to share what goes into into those scores because, in case you're wondering, I want to be as transparent with you as possible. So, we're looking at the OWGR points. This is really just a way to separate the top end guys from the lower end guys. You're going to want some of these in your lineup anyways, so why not give them a little bit of a boost? Especially when, if a rookie's coming on tour and they have really good recent form stats and those are the only stats that we have, I'd like something to kind of push the better golfers who are more established a little bit more. And you can see it's not a huge point difference between like Cantlay 98.6. Well, I should say this. Scotty Scheffler, #2 in the world, he doesn't have a huge advantage over Patrick Cantlay, just 1 point. But if we were to scroll down into the 6K range, like, Ben Martin, he has 0 OWGR points for him. And I would want that type of gap between him and, say, Scotty Scheffler. So it's not a huge one, but there is one. I like to include it because it just seems to, it seems to be consistent. Like my rankings are pretty good week in and week out. I am looking at 2 types of grass stats. One is bent grass, which I put out a YouTube short. I also put this in my tournament and course information portion of the preview. If you don't have ryegrass, my second grass that I think you guys should look into is bent grass. I think that's the way to do it. If you don't have either of those grasses to look at, probably don't look at any grass stats, honestly, because it's not Bermuda. I used to live out here, by the way, if you were unaware. Used to live out here. I've golfed on these golf courses. I know how they play. The rough is very similar to Minnesota golf. Not the rough, the fairways. The fairways are very similar to Minnesota fairways. The greens are very similar to Minnesota greens. That's because in the wintertime, they overseed. And you saw that yesterday in the preview video when I went over the course and tournament information. It just, Yeah, it's too cold for the Bermuda to grow out there. Will there be some Bermuda that can survive? Sure. Like, I'm not going to disagree with that, but it's very minimal. You're going to see that yellowish brown grass in the rough. One of my friends, caddies out there, he sent me a couple videos of him walking around the golf course. I haven't seen it more yellow ever. Like, sometimes you see little green patches of grass here and there. That's kind of the Bermuda kind of sprouting through. Like, it's warm enough for some of the grass to grow. Maybe there's some, hey, sometimes overseed can spill into the rough, and then you have those green patches there because of that. But if you've never actually hit off of dormant Bermuda, it's very brittle grass. The ball usually lays on top of it. You can get flyer lies pretty darn easy. It's the easiest grass to hit out of. There's like no resistance. So that's why I don't look at Bermuda stats whatsoever. They're not going to be on the greens. They're not going to be around the green. Just don't look at Bermuda. And it is overseeded with POA, but it's such a brief season to have the POA on there that it doesn't really quite, quote unquote, bud. Like, that's what you normally hear with POA is, the flowering process of the grass creates these buds that make the greens a little uneven. They make it a little bumpy. That's why I personally, I wouldn't look at POA. These greens are going to roll pretty straight, pretty true. In my opinion, it's ryegrass all the way. Ryegrass is also known to be a little stickier than bentgrass, so that's the only thing that I would distinguish differences between the two. So I would use ryegrass, just like I said in the video. If not, then use bentgrass. Anyways, that's grass number one. I went on a little tirade there. Grass one would be your bentgrass because I don't have ryegrass. Grass 2 is just Pete Dye. I'm looking at Pete Dye stats. This is pretty watered down, so it's not like, golfers who have a really good advantage on Pete Dye golf courses are getting that big of a bump. But I do want to add that just to add a little bit of an advantage to those that are good at Pete Dye golf courses. We're looking at tournament history. I know yesterday in the preview video, I forgot to mention this. I call them course history buckets. So when I talk about the bucket system, I kept saying course history buckets. They're tournament history buckets. I still want to use that because this tournament is unique. And if you play here enough with the Pro-Am and stuff like that, I definitely want to give you a boost for those that do play well at this tournament, dating back, the last several years. So I'm still going to use tournament history in my scoring. Obviously, that's what I did here, and that's how I got my ranks. Then we're looking at season-long, bogey avoidance, birdie or better, driving distance. The further you hit the ball, you're just going to have better possibilities of scoring, better scoring possibilities. Not if you're erratic. I understand that. Like, if you're not accurate, yeah, you won't have those advantages. But I still want to see driving distance because if that is high, more likely you have enough power to have shorter irons into the greens. Shorter irons are more accurate. So that's why I like looking at driving distance. And we're looking at recent form averages for DraftKings points, their finishing position, as well as their scoring average. This goes to the last 7 weeks. We've really only had like 2 other weeks of PGA Tour events. So if you wanted to on your cheat sheet, again, link in the description below for that cheat sheet. If you wanted to remove this, all you got to do is select over these and hit delete. Now, the ranking won't be updated because I don't have a formula in here. It gets really wonky when you put filters on there, but the score over here will be updated. So if you really wanted to, it's going to take a little work on your end. You could either put a ranking formula in here to go off the score here, or if you wanted to, when you put that filter on, I don't know, can you see on the spreadsheet? No, you can't. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. What you could do is the filter has this range right here. You could change this range from EB over to ED, as in dog, as in delta. And that would cover the score. And then you could filter by this. And then basically just type in a 1, a 2, and then this little little box down here, click and drag this all the way down to the bottom, and that'll update. Basically, it's a rough version of what you should do with the ranking system, but you could do that if you wanted to. I'm going to keep those recent form stats in there because they're already watered down. Some of the golfers aren't getting that huge of a bump. You can see most of these guys have 40s for their DK average points, then 30. We scroll down, some of these guys are going to have 20s, even if they like didn't even play. So it's not a huge bonus, but I definitely want to give a bonus to those that have played recently. So if you don't agree with that, just delete those. It's fine. Delete these columns. Outside of the recent form stats, then I'm looking at season-long stats. These are my stats that I've recorded for the last year. So we're looking at DraftKings points, their scoring average, rounds under 70%, cut made percentage, DK top 10. This is based off of the field, this current field. Who's the best at or who's the best in these stats? Get 100 points, and then it kind of scales down from there. So these are more kind of static points that I give when golfers get to certain thresholds. This is based off of who's the best in each of these categories, and then it's scaled down based off of how far away they are from those players, from the best players. So hopefully that gives a little idea of how the score is made. And again, my number one guy, Patrick Cantlay, followed by John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon. You can see these names. Pretty much follows the salary ranks by DraftKings. You know, if you want to call it the salary leaderboard, you can kind of see some of the discrepancies that I have. Like Tom Kim and Sam Burns. I mean, Burns is really close. Don't get me wrong, but he's number 9 in the salary ranks. He's number 10 in my rankings. So Sam Burns is right where he should be. Tom Kim might be a little bit off, just a little bit. I don't think it's a big deal, honestly. But if that is enough for you to throw you off, then so be it. Brian Harmon, by the way. Harmon is ranking out really well. I think that's a pretty good value play. And then our winner last week, Siwoo Kim. The SweetSpot rankings kind of not doing him any justice. And that's fine. I don't think... Like, Siwoo is a really good golfer, don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I made last week. I was telling a lot of people in the comments of my videos, like, I deselected him so many times in my optimizer. Because my optimizer will just pick a guy at random, as long as my exposure levels are, you know, set for him, which they were. He just kept popping up. I'm like, no, I don't trust Siwoo. Don't want to play Siwoo. Don't want to play Siwoo. And he was actually a pretty decent price tag last week. And last week was, what, he was $8,200 last week. That was a weaker field than this week, and he's $1,000 more. So it kind of stinks missing out on him. Probably should have played him last week. I'm not going to shy away from playing him this week. Hey, golfers get on heaters, so I don't see there being an issue with playing Siwoo. Let me check with chat here. Joanne, thank you. Smart move on the grass. I think it's smart. I mean, I went to school for golf course management, which included agronomy classes. I think bent and ryegrass, pretty similar. You could use those two stats pretty interchangeably. And Barry R, yes, let's go. All right, Cam Young's number 9. I'm not going to go through all the rankings. I just want to show you. I mean, what I typically like to do is sort by the rankings and kind of see some golfers who might be misplaced. Like Siwoo, number 18. He's pretty far. I mean, there's Tom Hoagie that ranks better than him. JT Poston at $8,000. That's a pretty good value. He's ranking out better than Siwoo Kim. You know, Sahith Theegala might be a little overpriced. It's very volatile. I do like Sahith this week. And then the rest of these guys, Taylor Montgomery might be a little overpriced, but I do like Montgomery. But yeah, look at a lot of these 7K golfers compared to the 8K, 9K golfers around them, and kind of just see the different values. I'm not going to put a huge emphasis in this. I want you to know, though, that these rankings, really it's the score. The score for these golfers goes into the optimizer. So you can see those metrics. This is your SweetSpot score. And obviously the SweetSpot score then goes into the ranking. So I will be using this. Now, if you wanted this optimizer, it's easy for you to go in here and change the values to whatever you want it. Like if you don't like Scotty Scheffler, you could put 0 points. If you like John Rahm, you could put 1,500. I would say this, if you do that, just go in here, copy all this, paste it somewhere else. Like I do that with a lot of these things. Like my bucket system information. Sometimes if there are minimums that I don't care to choose, I'll copy them from here and paste them in an open column. So if you wanted to, you know, not lose what these metrics are, you can do that. Otherwise, I don't know. Did I actually? I don't think I did. Yeah, I didn't save the dream sheet yet. I will do that before sending it. But the dream sheet, there'll be a tab on this optimizer that will look just like what I was showing you. Will look just like this. And all the way over to the right will be the score. So you could actually update that if you wanted to. You could go from the dream sheet tab to the optimizer and save those values back in here. But hit the back button a couple times and just keep the metrics as they are. Yeah, Thigala, I don't mind Thigala this week. I think it's a pretty good play. I like the volatility that comes with him this week. I think it's a perfect play. All right, so those were your ranks and your scores. Again, like I was saying, the score goes into the optimizer, which we will be building lineups with later on. For anyone that's new, that's coming, that's come into this stream, think about some combos of golfers that you want to see lineups. I'll bounce them against the optimizer, which includes the bucket system information. So keep those towards the end. Most of this video is going to be building lineups. I think last week it was 2 hours long. Like we had pretty good engagement with the audience, or I should say with chat. They're asking a bunch of questions about, you know, what types of lineups to go. So if we have that type of engagement here, I don't mind sitting on here for, you know, however long you guys would like me to, and we can go through a bunch of different lineup combinations, because there are hundreds of thousands. Actually, there's, I think, 100 trillion different combination of lineups we could make with all the golfers in the field. So it's not like if I go over a bunch of these, because this is the funny thing. There are some people in this DFS realm that do not like building lineups on stream because everyone copies it and puts it into, you know, DraftKings. The collusion just doesn't make it genuine, doesn't make it authentic, and that kind of stuff. Well, hey, how many people are watching right now? 6? I don't think. I mean, by the end of the week, I might have 100 viewers on this stream. So I really don't think 100 people copying the same lineups is really going to do anything. So feel free to give me some lineup combos, and I will build them here a little bit later. Okay. Now that we're done with the scores and the ranks, this goes into our Marquee Tee Times. Like I said early on in the video, hard to do Marquee Tee Times this week. I didn't even color code them. I certainly will right now, though. Let's do that, and then really the last two are kind of like, what do I usually call them? Honorary mentions, I guess. But it's every 2 groups. Now, the top 2 groups, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, that group with Scotty Scheffler and Tony Finau, their rankings together equaled the same amount as the other group. So you can see the SS rank, that's how I figure out what are my top groups. So Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, their score equals 7 together, or the rank equals 7 together. Scheffler and Finau also equals 7. So the rankings together, I could probably do it by score. I'd imagine. Well, actually, I don't know. I could do score, but I don't think it really matters. We're just like, that'd be going a little too deep. I don't know what to do with the Marquee Tee Times this week. I don't even know if we should follow them. I don't have them actually in the optimizer right now. I do. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So I do have those numbers here in the group. This is your Marquee Tee Time groupings. Anything that has a number is part of the grouping. The golfers that don't have numbers there, they're not a part of any Marquee Tee Time. This I use for the optimizer to select golfers from my Marquee Tee Times. I have the minimum set to 0. I have the max set to 2. And then this little section down here is what the optimizer will look at and make sure, like if I had the minimum set at 2, it will make sure I grab 2 golfers that are in the Marquee Tee Times. I usually do that every single week. This is always set to 2, and I really never have the max more than 4. But I'm going to keep it open this week because I didn't see anything from the previous years. Anything that has like a dark green over here. So this is 2022 that I'm looking at. Anything that has a dark green is considered the Marquee Tee Time. So I have a few of these, and let me just let's just go ahead and put a filter on this. Sort by game, and then I got to bring it out by color because I didn't know how to do this last year to do my Marquee Tee Times. See, how many did I actually have? I had a total of 24 Marquee Tee Times, and that actually makes sense because I usually have 9 groups. 9 groups have 3 golfers in them. That would be 27. I can't do that on the optimizer though. The optimizer will only give me 9 groups because it's limited with the amount of arguments that you make in it, so I can't do that. We had 1 golfer in the optimal lineup from last year's Marquee Tee Times, but there were 3 golfers in the GPP winning lineup. That's what this little blue color is. Indicates your GPP winning lineup. So yeah, I don't know what to do with Marquee Tee Times this week. I guess if we follow last year's, I would have to, it'd be these groups right here would be the Marquee Tee Times, grabbing 3 more groups to make it 12 total groups. We only had 1 in the optimal lineup last year. I could see having a few more in the optimal lineup, but I don't know. I think we just leave it open. I think we're already going to mix and match a bunch of these golfers here at the top. They're our best golfers in the field, so I really don't. I don't see I don't see it being necessary to do Marquee Tee Times this week. I'll keep them like this just to, in the review video, see if anybody shows up, but I'm not going to use Marquee Tee Times. So kind of went through that, wasting your time. It's fine, right? It's fine. Can't say I really wasted your time. I just showed you what the Marquee Tee Times were. I'm not going to use them in lineup building. Now, the last thing that I want to look at are the anchor buckets. So again, if you're following along with me, or I should say this, if you want to follow along with me, go ahead, check the link in the description below. That's where the cheat sheet is available. Once you go to that link, once you visit that page, go down to make a copy. That way you can use the filters that I will be using on this spreadsheet and filter out the same way that I do. Because when it comes to the anchor buckets, what I like to do, I already have this set up, is in this max projection, once you put the filter on, click into the max projection filter, go to filter by conditional, and go greater than or equal to 2. Because greater than or equal to 2 means the minimum is at least 1. And when the minimum is at least 1, we want to select a golfer from that bucket. The second piece of this, I just selected anything under 25, but if I were to open this up to everything, you can see we do have more buckets that we could look at. But some of these buckets have 67 golfers in it, 53, 46, 41. That's a bit of an eyesore. That's difficult to figure out which golfers we like from those. So the whole purpose of the anchor buckets is to pick out 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 golfers from there, use those as our core and build lineups that way. So that's the whole purpose of the anchor buckets. When there are 67 golfers in a bucket, it is very difficult to select, 1, 2, or 3. Maybe you want, 7, 8, 9 of those golfers in your player pool. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Because again, the optimizer, what it's going to do, it's already going to look at this bucket and select the best combination of golfers to go with whomever you're going to anchor around. So, and you can mess around with the optimizer, have it select certain players. I mean, you can change the metric in here to 0. You could literally remove these golfers if you wanted to. Like if you didn't want Aaron Rai at all and you just wanted a pool of golfers, You can do that. And then it will select golfers who are available. It doesn't matter if this is, golfers are after. You can do whatever you want. I could literally do something like this. It's not going to break the optimizer. Well, you would want to remove the metrics. But you could do that and build lineups, and it will be just fine. The optimizer can withstand that kind of stuff. So that's one way to remove golfers from your quote-unquote pool. You can also really enhance this. So let's say you really liked Adam Hadwin this week. Well, I could bump his score up to 5 or 50,000. How about that? That way the optimizer will always select Adam Hadwin. You could do that. And that's kind of a way you can trick this optimizer into selecting golfers from your pool. Now, if it doesn't match with the buckets, it won't choose that golfer. And I would say this too. If this score is super high, then it's obviously going to prioritize that golfer to put in your lineups. And then it's going to build around that. So anyways, you can do that. You can trick the optimizer in doing that. So that's why I'm not going to look at golfers or buckets that have more than 30 golfers in it or 25 golfers in it. That's why I would rather clear everything. This list isn't that large, so it's not like you have to really scroll through and select or deselect a bunch of these. You can just do this manually pretty easily. If you didn't want to do it manually, you could go in here and filter by condition and do less than or equal to whatever number you're comfortable with. Mine would be 25. I would just go less than or equal to 25. I select all, and it's still going to keep everything right there. So you could do that if you wanted to. Okay. Let's get in these anchor buckets. First one, we're going to look at last year ones. I talked about this in the preview video. There are a lot of good golfers here. I shouldn't say there isn't a lot, or there aren't a lot of golfers, but the golfers that are in this bucket, a lot of them are good. Rahm, Cantlay, Sung Jae-im, Will Zalatoris, Brian Harmon, our winner from last week, Siwoo Kim, Andrew Putnam, Tom Hoge, Wyndham Clark, a lot of good names. Now, if you're with me in the preview video, remember I said you want somewhere between 1 to 3. Bucket system is pretty successful when projecting how many golfers from a bucket will finish inside the top 10. 1 to 3 is a good projection. You wanted to go a little bit more than that, I'm not going to fault you for that. You can certainly do that. You can test out the bucket system, see who's right, whether it's you, whether it's the bucket system. But one thing I would advocate against is grabbing 5 or 6 golfers from this bucket. This is kind of why I like the bucket system, because if you say you could have a very well-rounded lineup. Will Zalatoris at 9,600. Drop down to, let's just put Brian Harmon in there, Tom Hoge, Denny McCarthy, and Lee Hodges. I just picked 5 golfers. I have $7,500 to work with. We can build lineups like this. Bucket system will tell you don't do that. And I've never seen it so wrong where if I'm projecting 1 to 3, we see 5 in that bucket. It's just not going to happen. So it's a great way to curb the type of the certain golfers you want. And one of the great things I like about, figuring out your anchors. Well, first of all, don't pretend you don't already have favorites. If you take that whole roster of golfers, the whole field of golfers, and you like Jon Rahm, you like Scotty Scheffler, or how about this? You don't want to play Rahm, you don't want to play Scheffler, but you really like Tony Finau, Patrick Cantlay, Will Zalatoris. You want to play those guys. Well, when we put this filter on and we select, our last year ones, well, we have Cantlay and Zalatoris there already. Maybe you want to build your lineups around those guys, and then just say, maybe I'll let 1. Maybe 2, probably just stick with 1 other golfer from the rest of the list to join that lineup, but otherwise fade the rest. I think this is a wonderful way to figure that out. So last year ones, guys in the chat right now, who are you eyeing up? Who do you like? I personally like Patrick Cantlay and Will Zalatoris. Saw a really good Harmon lineup that I'll share with you guys. I don't mind starting Cantlay Harmon. I don't mind starting Cantlay Zalatoris. Actually, really don't mind going to Rahm. I think you could fit 2 10K golfers in if you truly wanted to. So I think you could go Rahm and Cantlay. I won't do that, but I think it's definitely possible this week. Anyways, let me know who you like. I'll move on to the next one. I think, oh, I forgot to change the delay in the stream. I got to figure that one out. Going to the next one. Our next anchor bucket, last year twos. Again, we want somewhere between 1 to 3. Now, personally, this number is really close. The maximum's really close to being under 2, which I don't really feel super comfortable with. So again, we're looking at last year twos. 2.16 is the max projection. I always round up no matter what in the max projection. So 2.16 always gets rounded up to 3 all the time in my eyes. So close to being under 2, especially with that conservative, you know, in the miscellaneous information, this max projection over here takes in my sweet spot scores. 2.03 isn't very confident. And last week we saw 2 of these buckets fail. We had 0 in each of those buckets, which if this was under 2, so let's say it was 1.99, the minimum automatically goes to 0, and this would not be an anchor bucket. So let me go ahead and pull up the last year twos. I think there's good enough golfers in here that are going to make it worthwhile to play. So we have Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, those golfers by themselves, those 2, definitely worth it. Cameron Young, Sahith Theegala, Adam Hadwin, obviously like Adam Hadwin. We talked about JT Poston in the rankings. He's ranked a little bit better than his salary would indicate. So maybe there's value in playing him. And then we've got a list of other golfers that I'm pretty lukewarm about. Like Christian Bezuidenhout, you know, anytime that I roster him in my lineups, he disappoints me. Like he doesn't make a lot of birdies. He seems like he's really good at harder golf courses where you need to make par. That's where he seems to excel at. He doesn't really seem to excel at birdie type of golf courses, which that's what this might be this week. Now, my buddy that lives out in the desert, he was telling me today that there was a ton of wind. He wasn't really telling me. I just saw in a story that there's a lot of wind. And when it gets windy at the desert, the mountains are the only thing that really protect the wind from really blowing in and messing things up. But if the wind is blowing in the right direction, it gets really windy down there. You see, it's like dust bowls, basically. I don't know if that's something we really need to worry about. I was looking at the forecast after I saw that, and I'm like, well, we're seeing like somewhere between 7 to 10 miles an hour. It's irrelevant to some extent. So I don't know. Probably staying away from that, or staying away from that narrative that the wind is going to be terrible. If that was the case, though, I would probably put Bez in my lineups because he plays better when there's harder conditions. Let's see with chat here. Willie Z for Barry, absolutely. Cantlay, Willie Z, Hoagie, I like that. I mean, you could build a lineup with those 3 golfers and be just fine. Barry R with the 10 of the last 13 winners. Now, the bucket system is definitely something that tracks performance trends. I'm not sure I care too much about the odds. Like, I would like to know what go into the odds when it comes to Vegas and how they create those odds. I would love to know the algorithm that goes behind it. Okay, that's also a good one. I mean, let's see. What is one of our... I'll get to that, Barry R. I'll talk about last week performances. But I'm going to finish up with the last year 2 buckets. Now, again, the max projection of this was pretty close to under 2. And when that's the case, then there's no certainty at least one golfer from this bucket will be inside the top 10. But with the golfers we see, Scheffler, Finau, Cameron Young, Theegala, even Hadwin. We haven't seen him playing forever, but this is a golf course he does really well at. And I like JT Poston as well. Patrick Rogers I like quite a bit. Alex Smalley. Those are great players to also put in your rosters. So I do think we see at least one. I'm not going to... The thumbnail of this video is Scheffler and Finau. And I think it's probably the smartest to start lineups that way. I think a lot of people will gravitate towards Cantlay. I do like Cantlay a lot this week. Well, first of all, while I continue talking about this, how about you guys let me know who are your favorite, like, tell me which golfers that you would want to play from this bucket Actually, no. If you're going to anchor around any guys here, tell me 1 to 3 golfers that you would anchor from this bucket. But going on what I was, continuing on what I was talking about, Scheffler and Finau, I think they're relatively safe. Like, I don't think Scheffler misses the cut here. And again, we don't really have to worry about the cut because it's a 54-hole cut. Scoring is going to matter more. I like Scheffler's ability to make birdies here. The greens aren't super tricky. So, like a Finau, you could probably feel a little comfortable playing. I still kind of have, I don't know if I'd call it worries, but I'm not sure I really care to play Tony Finau this week. I think I would rather stay around Scheffler, Cameron Young, sprinkle in some Thigala, maybe a little Hadwin, Poston. Like, I don't mind playing golfers like that, but I'm probably going to stay away from Tony Finau. I like Scotty Scheffler. And at 10,500, it would be hard for me to play someone like Patrick Cantlay to go with him. So in the last bucket that we were talking about, I could see myself starting with like Scheffler and Zalatoris and going from there. Yeah, Scotty this week, pretty great. Ooh, you like Rahm next week? Hey, I don't mind that either. I don't mind that either. That's a good play, Barry. Like that. All right, moving on to the next one. So now, let me take out the bucket totals. I wonder, because we have no last week buckets. When I open this up, the only real bucket that is for certain are golfers who didn't play last week. So Barry, I don't know what we're talking about when it comes to that trend of playing the week before. We have some decent frequencies that come from these buckets, and obviously, you know, the differences between them, they could intertwine. How about this? Let's go into the buckets and use our top 5. But so I keep track not only of top 10 finishers, I keep track of top 5 finishers from each of these buckets. And basically what I'm looking at are these top 5 buckets. So these are all numbered weird. I mean, I could just do this right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So looking at these buckets right here, is there a year where we see 0 in all of them? No, there aren't. So yeah, playing the week before is not terrible, but this doesn't really help us because each of these buckets you see zeros quite a bit in. So trying to figure out which golfer played last week or, you know, what their performance is and applying it to this week, probably a bit challenging. You can see having a top 20 the week before kind of pittered out or, you know, stopped really happening in the last 5 years. So someone who top 20 last week probably don't play, but then of course we've seen it happen. What I could do is compare it to how many golfers are in those buckets each year. So I can hide this. And so we want to be looking at this compared to this. So yeah, we kind of see like a little downtick in numbers in 2018 and on, where it's like 15, 14, 12, 10, 10, 15, whereas we normally see 20, 16, 19, 20, 19. And it kind of follows along with how many we've seen inside the top 10 from that bucket. I'm not going to do a full analysis as to, you know, well, I guess what we could also do is you see an uptick in numbers here. You also see an uptick numbers here. So let's use that and maybe figure out what we can expect. We have more golfers in the last week 5 bucket, which is a missed cut from the Sony Open. We have more here than we typically do on average. Everything else is pretty much on par with how many we see on average. So if there was a bucket to really kind of focus on, if you wanted to, missing the cut last week at the Sony might, you know, because the number is larger, it might be the bucket you want to be picking golfers from. But there's definitely no certainty with any of these buckets. And I guess how I look at that, if we go back here, remember we're looking at top 5s in that last week bucket. What do we see? No more than 4. Well, here's 5. No more than 5 from anyone who played last year or last week. And really, if you take out missed cuts, we have 2, 3, 2, 2, 0, 2, 3, 1, 4. And we have 4 there as well. So probably limit the amount of lineups, or when you create lineups, limit how many golfers played last week to about 3. So probably don't play more than 3 that were in the Sony Open, which is kind of interesting because, I mean, you could do this also to some extent if you were to use the optimizer. I have 2 set up for the last week buckets, so no more than 2. What I could do is do this, put 3 that did not, or like I'm telling the optimizer to at least select 3 who didn't play last week. Remember, the last week 6, any 6 buckets basically in the absence of stats. So it really tells you they didn't play last year, they didn't play last week, they have no course history, they have no recent form, they don't have any strokes gained stats. That's kind of what bucket 6 refers to. So golfers who didn't play last week, I want the optimizer to select at least 3. I don't want it to select more than 3. So I think thank you for bringing that up, Barry. That was great. Hey, by the way, I think you were in chat last week, and you were the one that bring up Maverick McNeely, which got me to look into Taylor Montgomery and comparing the two. You got me on to Taylor Montgomery. Not that it was very difficult, because I really like Taylor Montgomery, but for most of that tournament, Montgomery was looking like the best 9K golfer you should have played, and he might have been. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think maybe Corey Connors was a little bit better. I think Corey Connors was $9,600, but hey, I think you might have helped all of us kind of limit the amount of golfers we're going to play in last week's tournament. So thank you once again. All right, let's move on. Let's get back into the anchor buckets. That was fun to kind of derail from there. We'll put a condition back on this, greater than or equal to 2. And of course, you know, you could put a condition on this, but I'm just going to go ahead and just select any bucket under 25. So we have no last week buckets. Course history 2 is the next bucket we want to select. This one's a pretty healthy projection, 1.5 to 2.5. Again, that's 1 to 3, how I read it. So looking at course history 2 golfers. We have Scotty Scheffler. We have Patrick Cantlay. Burns, Harmon, Siwoo. Like, to me, it's almost evident that we want to start with Scotty Scheffler or Patrick Cantlay. And for me, I think I'm going to start with Scotty Scheffler and go from there, because it opens up more lineup possibilities for me. Like, I don't mind Cantlay and say like Brian Harmon together. But it feels better kind of thinking about building a Scotty Scheffler, starting with Scotty Scheffler and going to a different golfer. Now, I will say this, as I talk about this in the strategy video, I mean, almost every year that I do this, every week that I do this, I should say, with the strategy videos, I will tell you a certain combo of players that I like. And of course, outside of doing this live, because when I do this live, I build a lot of lineups with you guys. But prior to doing this live, I would give you my top like 10 lineups that I would build. Well, then Wednesday night comes around, I'll start building lineups, and it's not working the way I really want it to. It doesn't look great. So then I'll change my combos. And it's not me trying to deceive you. It's just like, you know, in a Tuesday night when I'm creating these strategy videos, I can only do so much like lineup building, so much theory crafting, that when it comes down to me actually building out 100 lineups, I realize the 2 guys that I wanted to build lineups around just don't work. It doesn't work the way that I want it to. I don't like it how it works with the buckets. So then I pivot away from that, and I find a different combo that I like building lineups around. And especially if I'm just messing around with this and I go, well, let's see what some Scotty Scheffler, Brian Harmon lineups look like. And I start building those out, and I'm like, oh my God, I like these lineups. Or perhaps it will kind of tell me like, nope, we can't build lineups with those guys. So, try again. But like this lineup right here, Scotty Scheffler, Brian Harmon, Adam Hadwin, Thomas Dietrich, Will Gordon, Ben Taylor. That's a really good lineup. And if I continue just hitting this run optimize button, we're going to see more and more good lineups. I don't really care for Brendan Todd, but hey, that's not a terrible lineup. We'll get more into this here a little bit later. So I guess for you guys, which 1, 2, or 3 golfers that you want to build your lineups around in the course history 2 bucket? Salaries are telling us we want to play one 10K golfer. I'm not going to go into that bucket. Strokes gain 1 and strokes gain 2. So strokes gain 2 is just like the last year 2 bucket, where our max projection when we pull in the sweet spot ranks almost under 2, which doesn't leave me with high confidence in selecting at least one golfer from these buckets. But when we go into these strokes gain bucket, or just remember what the totals were. So strokes gain 2, maybe you want one golfer, maybe we want to anchor on one golfer. We're going to leave that open though. We'll talk about it, but we'll leave it open. Strokes gain 1, we want somewhere between 2 to 5. 2 to 5 obviously are, when we pull in the sweet spot ranks. 4 is really kind of the conservative maximum that we want. So open this up to everybody, go to strokes gain 1. And it's a bunch of great golfers. I mean, this is all color coded, by the way, based off of the strokes gain buckets they're in. So if I were to open this up, if you're following along on the cheat sheet, you know, you go back to the dream sheet, all these golfers that are green are strokes gain 1 golfers. So keep that in mind. But as you see on the screen, I mean, we have 4 10K golfers to select from. I said this when I posted on Twitter that for me, I would want to play a 10K golfer. I did this in the, shoot, I forget which one it was. Maybe I think the bucket system video that I posted on Twitter, I had said, this doesn't tell you want a 10K golfer. I don't know what will, or something to that effect. Like, you want a 10K golfer in your lineup. And I would say it's probably one of these 4. Now, the only one you don't see in there is John Rahm. He's going to be in the next bucket we talk about because he's a strokes gain 2 by a fraction. I'll show you how he's just a strokes gain 2 by a fraction, but he should be a strokes gain 1 golfer, and he's obviously super, super good. All of his stats are really good. His around the green is just slightly negative, and that's what's causing him to be a strokes gain 2 golfer instead of a strokes gain 1. So either way, it seems like you definitely want a 10K golfer in your lineup. I personally like Scotty Scheffler. Well, put it this way. Cantlay and Scheffler are super close. I like them both. But we want 2 to 5 golfers from this. Oh, hold on. Whoa. I say this, and I always phrase it wrong. It's not that you want 2 to 5. I'm projecting 2 to 5 inside the top 10, which 4 of those 5, you know, the max projection is 5. 4 of them could be in the 10K range. You cannot select more than 2. You can only select 2, but more likely you can only select 1. You know, because if we have nothing but a bunch of 9 and 8K golfers inside the top 10 to go with our 10K golfers, which here historically we haven't seen, but if that was the case, then no, you can't select 2 to 5 golfers from this bucket. So you really have to look, you kind of have to look into that. You have to be cognizant, be aware of that. So with that being said, if you don't see each one of these 10K golfers finishing inside the top 10, then easily X them out. You know, whatever golfer you don't like, obviously don't select them. But then that means you can come down here pretty easily and select a few more of these golfers that you want to build your lineups around. So, yeah, Barry, I could see us starting with Scotty and Cantlay pretty easily. Let me just catch up with chat. I think, yeah. So I answered that one from Barry, the last nugget. Oh, no, I didn't. Last nugget. 13 of the last 15 winners played in one previous American Express, and 12 of the last 15 have played the event at least twice. Yeah. Being our course history 2 bucket, I think that we went over probably kind of shows that a little bit. Did you notice that this year's pricing doesn't have an 11K price player? Pricing looks soft. Tell me that a Stars and Scrubs approach this week might be the way to go. 2 10Ks this week? Yeah. So that's where I'm going to get to when it comes to lineup building. I think I said this in the preview as well. Every single year that we've seen a pass optimal lineup, or I should say this, when we looked at pass optimal lineups in the preview video, we saw every single year at least two of the following combos. Like, I should say this. You either saw two 7Ks, or you saw a 7 and a 6K, or you saw two 6Ks in the optimal lineup. So it's like you want to select two of those. You want to select, that combo. You want to follow that combo some way. So, and when I say, you know, two 7s and a 6, or I should say two 7s, a 7-6, or two 6s, a lot of times like a 2-6 kind of went with another 7. Or the two 7s went with the 6. Not all the time, not always, but every single year we've seen at least one 7. I should say that. Yeah, I should probably say that. It was at least one 7. I think that's how the combo went, right? 1 7, 1 6, or two 7s and a 6, or 1 7 and two 6s. So 3 of your golfers should be in the 7 and or 6K range. I think that's probably the best way to say. So with that being said, yeah, definitely Stars and Scrubs week is definitely viable this week. I think that's probably the best way. And when you said starting with Scotty and Cantlay, I could see that easily happening. And yeah, I could easily skip the 8K range as well. I think that's easy. Barry R, that one right there, two 10Ks, an 8, a 7, and two 6s. Yes, that is definitely viable. I like that idea. Moving on with our strokes gained one though, some of these golfers I think are really easy to you could easily choose. You know, when we talk about skipping the 8K range, we have golfers like Cameron Davis and Sahith Theegala, KH Lee in there, and of course we were talking about JT Poston. I could easily roster these guys. So skipping the 8K range probably wouldn't be on my radar, but yeah, it's definitely possible. Again, it's just I would say first, how does the leaderboard shake up? You know, if any of these guys are above any of these guys inside the top 10, then yeah, you kind of have to skip some of these guys and go here. But if it's the other way around, it really depends on if these 4 golfers up here, if 1, 2, 3 of them finish top 5, you're definitely going to want them. But if they finish like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, you literally could skip them. So it really matters that they're in the top 5. So if you have any doubts, like I do with Xander, I don't like a top 5 finish from him. I also don't like a top 5 finish from Tony. So I'm probably skipping these two guys pretty easily. Now, last year, I think Patrick Cantlay was what? He was 9th. But when I created my realistic optimal, which would be the sweet spot optimal, it scored 740 points. 740. Sorry, I was talking a little quick there. The GPP winning lineup scored 670. There's a 70-point gap between the GPP winning lineup and a lineup that included Cantlay in 9th place. So if you're with me talking about if these guys are inside the top 5, don't let it scare you. It's just talking about value when it comes to the rest of the golfers. You know, a 9 or an 8K golfer that's inside the top 10. Put it this way: an 8 or 9K golfer that's somewhere between 5th and 10th place is probably more valuable. And I only say probably because I didn't do the math behind this, than any of these guys finishing 3rd to 7th place. Because this allows you to grab different golfers that might get put into, you know, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And you might not be able to construct a lineup with these guys in it. Like, put it this way, your optimal might include these guys despite one of these or two of these guys being inside the top 10. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. But we don't have to galaxy brain ourselves. If they finish inside the top 10, you're going to have a pretty good chance to winning a GPP or making a decent amount of money. So don't worry about it. Anyways, moving on. The last bucket to talk about, remember this one was really close to not being an anchor bucket, would be your strokes gained 2, which is headed by Jon Rahm. And just to show you why he's a strokes gained 2, these 4 stats right here: off the tee, approach, around the green, putting. All 4 of these need to be positive in order for that golfer to be a strokes gained 1 golfer. If any of the 2 in between, approach or around the green, are negative, they would be a strokes gained 2 golfer if their off the tee is positive and their putting is positive. So you can see by fractions, that would be what, 1/100th of a decimal point separates Jon Rahm from being a strokes gained 1 golfer. So yeah, definitely if there was a golfer to choose in this bucket, it would be Jon Rahm. But then you also have Taylor Montgomery, Tom Hoagie, and a bunch of other good supporting cast that you could put in your lineups. But this is definitely much weaker than the strokes gained one bucket we just saw. Significantly weaker. So trying to anchor around one of these golfers, if it's not Rahm, I think you just don't anchor. And I think that's what I would put in the optimizer. I don't know if I actually have that. Let's see, strokes gained 2. Yeah, I left it 0. So this is kind of the minimums that I'm going to post in here. Actually, let me just do that right now, just so I don't confuse any of you. So with the strokes gained 2, I kept it at 0. I did put the max at 3 though, because remember the technical projection or the actual projection is somewhere between 1 to 3, but we don't really feel comfortable putting at least 1. So I'm going to keep it open. Keep it open. But with that being said, we are done with the anchor buckets. We just covered all of them. So let's get into some lineup construction. I'm thinking about putting some music on. See if I can figure this out. I want to see what it sounds like in stream. If I went to royalty-free mute, it had this set up, right? Checking this out earlier today. That was great. Playlist. Popular upload. Can you hear the music? I have no idea what it sounds like. I can see it show up. Let me know if it's too loud. Anyways, I'll wait for you guys to catch up because I think there's a 10-second delay. Okay. All right. So if you have any combinations that you'd like me to put in here with lineup building, let me know. This is all about helping you guys understand the bucket system process as well as just see some different lineups built. Let's see here. Very hard. Maybe not. Skip the 8K range. Maybe skip the 9K. Yeah, that's definitely possible. You'd have to skip someone like Will Zalatoris, though. That might not be easy to do. Scotty Cantlay. Yeah, we'll do those combos for sure. And yes, Barry, this is definitely the most volatile tourney of the year. One of them, at least. I think this and well, the other Pro-Am too. Actually, that's not true. I was gonna say the 18T Pebble Beach, but last year it was kind of easy to predict. I forget who we had. Spieth. I thought Spieth was gonna do really well, and he finished top 5. Missed out. What he lose to Hoagie? Can't remember. Alrighty. Let's build some lineups. Let me clear out all of the yeses and nos that we had in here. Make sure that it all looks good. Okay, so what I'm going to do here in the beginning is I'm going to build some lineups with strict conditions in there. So I'm going to make sure that the minimums are set and the maxes are set. And then towards the end half of it, I'm going to remove the minimums, and just put zeros. And then just see what the optimizer will select there just based off of the metrics. So, like I said, you got some lineups in there for me to build. Let me know. I'm going to start with Barry with the Scotty Cantlay combo, because I really like that. That's a great choice. With optimizers taking a little slow to run. Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, Adam Hadwin, Davis Riley, Benny Ann, and Tyson Alexander. I like that lineup a lot. Now, Barry, if you see some like common trends that are happening, like Adam Hadwin continues to show up in these lineups, let me know and I can knock him out or deselect him. All right, let's see another one. This is another good one. So it's continuing to show Adam Hadwin in here. We can obviously knock that out if you want. But now we have Matthew Neesmith and Ben Taylor. And it looks like Benny Ann is also popping up there. I think that was Shot Like Harden's guy last week. You like Benny N? Okay. There we go. Now we get a little change. So once those two low price guys get kicked out, now we're looking at JT Poston, Will Gordon, Matthew Neesmith. I really like Neesmith this week, and Justin Lauer. It's a pretty good lineup here. This will be very unique. I don't think you will get I don't think you'll get duped with this if you're worried about duping. If you were in like a cash game contest, like a league contest, I think this is a really good lineup to build around. You said Thigala. All right. Let's go ahead and put Thigala in here, 8,600. See what it gives us. Neesmith, Hosler, and Glover. I don't mind Hosler at this event. I think this is a guy that likes to network, so being in a Pro-Am I don't think will bother him, but I really don't like Bo Hosler. Really don't. And I don't care for Lucas Glover either, but you let me know. Keith Mitchell? Ooh, Jason Duffner. I don't know if I like Duffner. Probably get rid of that. Jimmy Walker. I want to like that lineup. I think Walker made the cut last week, right? By the way, let me know if the music's too loud. I can turn it down or turn it off. One of the two. Walker, Texas Ranger. Oh no, he missed the cut. I think he was looking good. Yeah, he definitely missed the cut. I'll build I'll build a couple more and then I might think of other ones. Ooh, Ryan Moore. I don't mind playing Ryan Moore here. Ooh, here's a more like rounded, like a more well-rounded 6K combination with Troy Merritt and Stuart Sink to go with Benny Ann. That's probably the best one that we've seen so far. What do you think, Barry? This is very scrubs, stars and scrubs. Hank Lebiota just got added. I don't mind putting Hank in my in any of my lineups, and I bet you anything he'd be really super low owned. Mid 7. I'm not sure if I could actually make it choose a mid 7. What I could do if you wanted 2 low 7s and okay, yeah, we could do that. So 2 low, what I could do is change this 7 to 8K range, so it's just really your 7K range. Make sure it selects 2, but then it's going to select someone in the low 6K. Most likely. Or it won't. There you go. Matthew Neesmith, who I said I liked. You liked Benny M. Do you like Ches Reavie enough? I don't know. You let me know. Kevin Chappell. I don't mind like a Kevin Chappell lineup, honestly. Ooh. Someone mentioned to me in the comments. I'm not sure if it was it you, Barry, that you like Johnny Huh? If you do, here you go, man. Johnny Huh, Ben Griffin, Matthew Neesmith. I like Ben Griffin this week as well. Matthew Neesmith, Benny Ann, Adam Schenk. All right, how about 2 more? Then we can change it up. Riley, Benny Ann, and Nick Watney. I mean, if this was 2013, 2014, Nick Watney, this would be an amazing lineup. All right, I'm going to talk about this one. So last week I was kind of dunking on Trevor Cohn. Like I was saying not kind things about putting him in lineups. I wouldn't say I was saying bad things, but I was like, I don't know, I don't know who the Trevor Cohn guy is, so I'm gonna get rid of Trevor Cohn. Was watching him on the PGA Tour broadcast or the PGA Tour live on ESPN. They got to Trevor Cohn because, you know, early in the morning when golfers go out, he was one of them. and they're talking about him. They're like, yeah, he hits the ball a mile. You know, his strength is off the tee. Hey, someone who hits the ball far, I have no issue with at this tournament. It's like there are water, or there are definitely water holes like on the PGA West side of things, but remember, it's a 54 hole cut. Even if you were to play poorly at PGA West, like say his first day, going along with the other 2 days, like I could see him eating up the Nicklaus tournament course as well as the La Quinta Country Club. So Trevor Cohn at $6,100. Don't sleep on him. So you like Huh and Han? Do you want me to put them in a lineup together? I can do that. All right, Ryan Brehm. I don't really care for Ryan Brehm. Neesmith, ooh, that's a good one. I like this one. Neesmith, Benny N, and Aaron Baddeley. Baddeley looked really solid last week. I don't know if you got to see any of the coverage on him, but he was in one of the featured groups. Pretty good. I want Ben Martin to do well. It'd be great. It's one of those like struggling stories that he's been struggling on tour forever that I'd like to see decent. Gordon, Hosler, and Sabatini. All right, let me put a Huh and Han lineup for you. I don't remember their price tags, but I think it was Huh was 6,500. And where is Han? There he is. 6,800. All right. Let's see if this breaks. Yeah, that Baddeley lineup does look nice. It does not break. Do you like Justin Suh? Can I give you Justin Suh to go with Han and Huh? All right, so it's going to say no to Han. What I'm going to do is just actually X out Justin Suh and see if we can get a different lineup. Is Joanne still here? Joanne, you still in here? There you go. Here you go, Barry. This is your lineup. Benny Ann, James Han, and John Huh. This is using the strict bucket conditionals. These are all the golfers that you've already said you like. There you go. You've got your lineup right here. Okay. I'm gonna scroll up on chat. I think Joanne said something. Cantlay, Willie Z, and Hoagie. Okay. I'm gonna do that. I have such a bad short-term memory. I forgot what I just said. Cantlay, Willie Z. Really good long-term memory, by the way. I can remember things back when I was like 3 years old. Zalatoris, Cantlay, and Hoagie. It's Hoagie, 8,400? Yeah, there you go. See, I can remember price tags. Joanne, did you want these three golfers together? Cantlay, Zalatoris, Hoagie, or did you want me to kind of mix and match? Because they are all last year ones. So just double checking on that. But this is a sexy lineup. Justin Rose? Hey, I don't mind Rosie at $7,900. I think that's a pretty decent lineup. I'm staying away from Christian Bezuidenhout, and I'm glad the optimizer is selecting him as a no. I just no. And this is going to be the week he does well, right? Oh man, I will tilt if that happens. We do have it set at 27K, so let's go ahead and move that back to 1 and see if it changes things. Hey, that's a good lineup. I like that one. Rose, Benny Ann, Troy Merritt. Joanne, if you see some golfers you don't like, let me know. I can just X them out. Like if you don't like seeing Justin Rose a bunch, I can do that. If you don't want to see Benny Ann in your lineups, I can also, because that's just what's going to go. So if you do, I'm gonna mark them as no's. But if you do like them, let me know and I'll mark them as yeses. That way the optimizer will just pick up on them all the time. Who else is here, by the way? I know I'm one of the people watching. I have my stream up on a different screen just to see if it's still running, if it's operating, you know. Just having up for maintenance purposes. But we have Barry R here, Joanne. Where are the other two? No Rose. Okay, good to know. So there's no Rose. We got him out of there. I also got rid of Benny Ann. Now we have JT Poston, Matthew Neesmith, and Austin Eckroat. That's a really good lineup. I like that one a lot. 2 8Ks, 1 7, 1 6. That's another good one here. So it looks like it's kind of liking. So Barry R, the optimizer's kind of liking the 8K range, which is kind of bad news for me and you. We don't, if we want to do like the 210Ks, seems like the value in the 8K range is really good. By the way, if you do ask for the optimizer, I do have a hotkey command that will just run the optimizer. Control R. That's why you just saw R show up there. You like Belly, or you like Benny Ann and Baddeley. Okay. Well, how about this? Let's just go ahead and, oh, there's your Aaron Baddeley right there. I'll go and mark him as a yes, and we'll also mark Benny Ann as a yes. We'll see what happens. Cantley, Zalatoris, Hoagie, Hadwin. Ooh, I like that lineup. Hadwin to go with Benny Ann and Aaron Baddeley. Let's remove Hadwin from the list. Patrick Rogers is a great choice. Yeah, so we're gonna have to live somewhere in the upper 7K and low 8K range to fill out this lineup, because we're leaving $500 on the table. I don't want to dip below $49,000. So really, it'd be somewhere between 7,200 and 8,200 is where the optimizer is going to live within. So we're gonna get a bunch of golfers from there. But hey, it's good to see. We can get a bunch of, like, what kind of 7 and 8K golfers can we put in here? Because depending on their buckets, see now it breaks. That's what I'm saying. I knew we were going to get to here eventually. You put too many conditionals in there. So obviously the 2 lineups or the 3 lineups that I showed, that had Benny Ann and Aaron Baddeley as yeses in there, you can only build so many lineups with those 2 golfers in it. So we'll move on from there. So if we don't choose them, now we get Poston a bunch of times. Here, Neesmith. I like Neesmith. Again, I'll continue to say that. I like Neesmith this week. Ben Martin, sure. Let me open this up. Dietrich, List, and Benny Ann. That's a really, I like. If you were in like a league or something like that, this lineup here I think is super solid. In fact, you're gonna steal it, save it here. Here's some lineups that I created that I really like. These were the first 2 lineups I created. Rogers or Dietrich, okay. Trying to figure what's on the stream right now. I think it's picking up. Oh, it's picking up the green reflection on the, like the little sparkles that you kind of see. It's okay. Yeah, just picking up the green screen behind me. Barry R, what do you mean the optimizers? Like optimizers from other people? Anyone liking Lingmerth this week? Has some decent history. You know, I was kind of in on the crowd that liked Lingmerth last week. Now, is this a great bounce back for him? Absolutely. If you look at his DK scoring over the last few, I mean, you just go to his recent log on DraftKings, you're going to see he has like 17 plus birdies in most of his tournaments. That's something good to see. Yeah, the Sony Open seemed pretty tough for most people. It wasn't as low scoring as we've seen in the past. maybe there was just a, you know, bad putting round for Lingmerth. I mean, a lot of people struggled with putting. So perhaps we can ignore that. And perhaps, you know, this week we go to Lingmerth. I don't mind that at all. You're welcome, Joanne. Absolutely. Here to help. Okay, so let's see. What do I want to do? First of all, let me run some lineups for you guys without, you know, any conditionals in there or any like locks. So I think the first one is going to show up like the one I just kind of showed that I saved. This is not selecting anything. This is actually different than the one that I just saved, right? Cantlay Harmon had... Oh, you want to know why? Because I changed this to a 3. That's why. That's actually good to know. So I'm going to do this. Go here. I'm going to hit Control R, hit that Run Optimizer. So this is the lineup you would have seen if I didn't have 3 in there. Cantlay Harmon, KH Lee, Adam Hadwin, Benny Ann, and Ben Taylor. Now, we're only selecting 2 golfers who did not play last week. 4 of our other golfers are from groups that did play last week. 2 of them being in the last week 1 bucket, which means they were top 20 last week, and the other one in the last week 2. It's a pretty solid lineup. I like this lineup a lot. However, we kind of already talked about, we've seen more often than not that, you know, at least 3 golfers didn't play the week before. So although, you know, the trends of golfers who played last week, we don't know which bucket that comes from. It could be any of them. We obviously went over that. So let's go ahead, keep it at 3, run the optimizer. And I mean, Ben Taylor was in that last one. So now we kind of remove Ben Taylor, Cantlay Harmon, Poston, Keith Mitchell, Davis Riley. Like, that's a really good lineup. And I really like Matthew Neesmith this week. So this is a good lineup. I would like to save that one. Ooh, Mark Green, welcome. How's it going, man? Those are good odds for a top 20, 7-1. I like that. Beautiful. Cantlay, KH Lee. Ooh, so without locking anyone in, goes Cantlay into an 8K range. KH Lee, Adam Hadwin, then Rose, Mitchell, Dietrich. So this is pretty balanced. This is another good cash game lineup. It's another good league lineup. No issues there. Hey, Mark, if you're going to be here for a while, if you want to see some lineups built using the optimizer that I have on the screen right now, which uses the bucket system, which is, of course, if you don't know what that is, there's a video in the description below that'll explain about it, but really just using past top 10 performers, looking at all the successes from each of those buckets and applying it to this week's field. So I have projections of how many golfers I think from each bucket will finish inside the top 10. The optimizer is using that kind of rationale, those conditions, to build some lineups. So if you have any golfers that you'd like me to put in here to lock in here and build lineups around, I can certainly do that for you. This is a pretty solid one right here. Cantlay, Harmon, Hadwin. So Cantlay with Harmon seems pretty good. Now, if I were to actually remove Cantlay from here and just say, yeah, optimizer, I don't want you to select Cantlay anymore. Run optimizer. We'll see who the next guy is. Scotty Scheffler with Harmon, Hadwin. So some good course horses. Well, Hadwin for sure. Harmon's a good one too. Ooh, John Rahm gets put in the mix. So it's like a kind of a mix between Rahm and Scheffler. Harmon, Hadwin, Dietrich. Ooh, that's a really good lineup. I gotta save this one too. What's kind of funny is I do these videos for you guys, and I create these lineups and I say I like them, but then I have the optimizer build me lineups and I kind of forget about these, and sometimes I'll go back to the video and try to find the lineup that I want to look at, but I've created so many that I don't remember where it's located, and it's not like I really want to. Hey Byron, what's up, man? Nice to see you here. I watched your video yesterday. I can't remember the guy with the shades. It was very Dr. Disrespect-esque. I almost thought he was gonna hit me with a "Hey brother" or a Macho Man quote, It was pretty great. I love your stuff too, dude. Mark Hubbard. Yeah, I saw that. Your graphic that you put for Twitter, with the what did you get him at, like 250 to 1 or 300 to 1, something like that. That's some funny stuff too. So okay, so this lineup here: John Rahm, Harmon, Hadwin, Riley, Dietrich, and Alexander. Yeah, that's another sexy lineup. I really like that one a lot. Let's save that one too. Okay, so Hubbard, let's go ahead and put him in. Do you remember his price tag off the top of your head? Because I don't. Oh, he's right there. So for Mark Hubbard, for me, like, the score isn't terrible. Golfers around him that are ranking out better would be Ben Taylor at 7,000. Benny Ann, Matthew Neesmith 7,100, Ben Griffin. These are all pretty common names that we yeah, he was a very good guest. You guys, very great. I love listening to pods that have great diction and verbal prowess, I guess, and you guys spoke very clearly, very good vocabulary. Love it. That's one of those weird things that I look for in streams. Not holding you to that standard like you need to, but you guys speak very well and it's very easy to listen to. Let's see. So yeah, Hubbard isn't terrible. I mean, there are obviously worse golfers around him. There are some that are just, you know, kind of better, and that's where the optimizer will select. But obviously we can start out with Mark Hubbard. Do you have any other golfers that you want me to kind of anchor around to put with Mark Hubbard? Like, is there anybody in the 10K range or the 9K range that you want me to build lineups with? I can certainly put that in here. Otherwise, we'll just let the optimizer do its thing. Yeah, that's a sexy lineup. That's a really good lineup. Hanley, Harmon, Hadwin, Mitchell, Dietrich. That's a really good lineup. Did you were you betting Dietrich? I can't remember. Can't remember what it's. I saw somebody betting a ton of Dietrich. Like, it was like top 20, top 10, top 5 winner. I think it was like 4 different types of bets that they had on Dietrich. But yeah, I really like Dietrich. Really like him. This is a pretty good lineup. Let's see here. I'm gonna remove Harmon. We've been seeing a bunch of Harmon, so I'm gonna keep Mark Hubbard with a couple of these other guys. Tony Finau. Ooh, 2 10K golfers. Here's a good GPP lineup. Finau, Cantlay, Hadwin, Gordon, Benny Ann. Oh, and I'm not gonna be able to continue. Let me remove Benny Ann from it, unless you absolutely want Benny Ann to go with it. Rahm, Cantlay, JT Poston, Neesmith, Hubbard, Ben Taylor. Wow. That is a very, very interesting lineup. Let's see here. No Dietrich for you, huh? Burns and Cantlay. Ooh, yeah. So I would never have gotten to like a Burns or a Burns and Cantlay together. I would just let the optimizer select Burns here and there if it wanted to. But yeah, Burns is I have no issue playing Burns. Let's put that all together. Burns, Cantlay, and Mark Hubbard. This is a sexy lineup. Cantlay, Burns, Cameron Young. So 2 9K golfers. And Ben Taylor. Anyone you don't like here, Byron? I am going to... How about this? We're going to give Mr. Hubbard a 200-point bump. So we'll go from 839 to 1039. And I won't have to select him anymore because I'm pretty sure the optimizer will continue to select him. Run this a couple times. Barry R. So I was looking at last year leaderboard and noticed that most of the players in the top 10 played the stadium course on Saturday. Yes, starting off on the easier courses first was an obvious advantage. Yeah, that's a weird one too, because like my strategy towards things would be, I want to get the hard course out of the way, but I think maybe the if you were to think of like your mentality going into something like that, if you look at the leaderboard after day one and you start at the stadium course, let's say you shoot something respectable, like 3 under. Say you shoot 3 under and you see someone shoots 10 under at La Quinta Country Club. You're already 7 shots behind. You might already think in your head you need to play catch up, and that might, you know, you might be forcing things into your next couple rounds where you really press your luck, and it gets you into some sticky situations that you can't get up and down from. So maybe you get to the Nicklaus tournament course and you only shoot 3 under there. Well, you're 6 under, that's still good, but with it being a 54-hole cut and like this cut being anywhere between 5 under to 8 under, you know, something ridiculous like that, now you're not even, when you look at it, you're like, I still need to shoot 3, 4, 5 under to even make the cut. And that might put too much pressure on you. Like, so yeah, there is a bit of like mental hurdles that some of these guys have to get past. Yeah. So did you like the lineup that just posted right here with Cantley Burns, Hoagie Poston, Neesmith, Hubbard? Yeah, Barry R, I really like that too. Now, basically anything that's like a trend, why I go with the bucket system is like I get to record it and put it into these different performance brackets, these different performance buckets, I should say. And we can kind of try to analyze it from there. That back-to-back stadium course thing, I'd love to know which golfers, you know, had to do that. I'd love to know, were they, you know, your 10K golfers, your 9K golfers with really good, you know, course history, tournament history, whatever, at these places. Try to figure out what other pieces that we can actually include, because I'm not positive what I absolutely can decipher from that, you know. So can you let me know, like, were they like low 6K golfers? I mean, I guess I do have some of that information on here, like from 2020. So do we remember what the rotation was last year? If you can tell me what the rotation was, then we can obviously look at some of these golfers. I don't want to sit here and just like be silent the entire time. If you can tell me the rotation from last year and the year before, because I did also include the starting hole from the year before on 2021, we can really look in at those stadium course, you know, golfers who their Saturday round finished on the stadium course and then they went around and played the stadium course on Sunday. We can take a look at that, because I agree, Byron, he does make some really interesting points. So we can dive into that. Again, I don't want there to be empty airspace for the pod, so I'm gonna continue on. So let's see, I want to add something to this, Byron. You said you didn't like Dietrich, so Dietrich's already gonna get knocked out of here. I'll run this optimizer one more time, and then I'm gonna put in an interesting take. Okay, so Davis Riley replaces Dietrich. I am gonna make sure that your lineup selects a 6K golfer. I imagine we'll see another high 8K golfer in there, or another 9K. There we go. Woohoo! Personally, I don't like Glover, but seeing like Sebastian Munoz in there, that would be a great GPP play, just because of the volatility that comes with Sebastian Munoz. To hit the Gala. Are you a Thigala fan this week, Byron? Duffner. I don't care for Duffner. Chapel's not terrible. We're going to see a lot of these. I might just have to skip the low 6K range, because it's kind of what this optimizer will do from time to time. Cam Young, Keith Mitchell, Ches Reavie. If you're a a Ches truther. Not too fond of it. 210K. So this is something that I like to see. So Tony Finau gets added to your Cantlay Burns start. And then we go, oh, you already said no to Ben Taylor. Or not so much no, but not terrible. Interesting. So I'm going to say no to Postman because he just continues to show up with this. Say no to Postman, and I'm also going to say no to low 6K golfers. I kind of have my favorites down there, but I'm not going to go super far down there. Here we go. I like this lineup a lot. Cantlay, Burns, Young, Gordon, Hubbard, and Carl Yuan. Because not a lot of people are going to really know who Carl Yuan is. I like to see if that was Kevin Yu. That'd be great. Don't care for Shank. All right, let me look it up quickly. So let's see. 2022 American Express. Tee Times. Yeah, Barry. I think it's a great point to bring up. I just want to like extract more information from that. Okay. So I'm going to use Patrick Rogers. So he started at, oh, that was a stadium course. Well, yeah, so I'm just going to use him. Patrick Rogers was at the same course last year, started there, and then he went to stadium course to La Quinta. So that means La Quinta to Nicklaus Tournament course to stadium course. Okay. So this was 2022, so we want to start with golfers that were in La Quinta. Kind of look at how golfers performed. So you're right, man. There were 11 golfers inside the top 20 that started at La Quinta first, finished at the stadium course on Saturday. So with that being said, what can we get from this? Patrick Cantlay did that. It's good to know. Will Zalatoris, there you go, our 10 or 9K range. Rahm did it as well, also an 11K golfer. Not terrible to start that way. I'm also going to put up the 2021 Tee Times. So many different websites that have Tee Times, and you can't trust all of them. Oh no, it's not going to show me. I don't care for this song. Can't find them there either. Hey, hold on. I might have saved them. Nope. Usually I'd have like an arrow that points from one course to another on Tee Times. Bummer. Okay. Yeah. I just want to know the rotation. 2021 American Express. Why is it so tough to do that? It's so stupid. Oh, it was interesting that they brought up Sunday final round. Okay, we're not listening to the song either. Oh, it's so difficult to try to find past. Oh, that's why you need to record this. That's why we all need to record data. It's difficult to just find what you need. Can I just look at the history, I wonder? Byron, you have to have these stats, right? I can't find 2021. Does anyone know the 2021 American Express rotation? Good God. 2021 American Express course rotation. So dumb. All right, I'm gonna give this like 2 more minutes, honestly. Not even 2 minutes. I'm gonna give this like 30 more seconds. There's no way to figure that out. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because like, oh, you know what I can do? I know what I can do. American Express leaderboard. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm just in a different browser, off screen, looking at stuff. I'm sorry to be non-existent, really. But you bring up a really good, like a good piece of information to try to figure out. So I'll include you guys. I wonder if I can get copyright from this. Siwoo started where? It's not even gonna show us, is it? Well, this would be the stadium course. And that looks like the Nicholas course. Or maybe, nope, this is hole 18. Yeah. So I actually went to this tournament. I kind of understand what these holes are. I think that like 9 would have water. Yeah. So that's Country Club, and then this is this Nicholas tournament course. This looks like the stadium course. So I think Siwoo Kim did it too. So this is La Quinta. So Cantley started in La Quinta. This is the stadium course. So he started La Quinta stadium course, the Nicholas tournament course. La Quinta stadium course, then tournament course, Nicholas tournament course, right? See, okay, now, oh, whoa. 2021, they only had 2 courses. They only used 2 courses. That's why. Okay, so, moot point. Don't need to go that far back. Holy moly, just remembered that. Yeah, the whole COVID thing. They didn't have 3 courses. That's why we saw stadium course a bunch of times there. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So, what is the rotation this week? Do we know? I didn't even pay attention. Tee Times. Okay. So I'll have, okay, round 1. We'll just look at Adam Long. He's at La Quinta. It's from La Quinta to Nicholas tournament course. So it's the same way. So starting at La Quinta, we'll get you the stadium course on the last day. Oh man, that took forever to get to that information. So here we go, guys. It's set up for our 10K golfers. Tom Kim. So here are your La Quinta guys. These guys will finish on the stadium course Saturday, which, you know, we kind of already mentioned. Kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage. No Willie Zalatoris, though. No Willie Z. Starting with any of these guys seems like a easy thing to do. Damn. So like a Tom Kim might not be a bad start. Like going with like Scheffler Kim or even Cantlay Kim. I don't see any homeless hubs for you, Byron, if you're still here. Okay. That took way too long. Sorry for those that went through with that. So yeah, starting with Cantley seems like a good choice. Let me remove some of this stuff. Let's see some Tom Kim lineups. You know, if Kim's going to be kind of like our Willie Zalatoris or Willie Z last year, starting at La Quinta, it's not a terrible choice. I also like Taylor Montgomery. And I wouldn't mind starting with two 10K golfers either. So there's another good reason to play two 10K golfers. Thank you, Joanne. I should have... I could have read that before actually pulling that up. Matt, it was 2021. It wasn't that they only played the stadium course. They played the... I think they played the country club, the La Quinta Country Club, as well as the... It could have actually been the other way around. It could have been the Nicholas Tournament course. And... Okay, Byron, that's good to know. You're right, he probably will. Getting stabbed in the foot's not so great. But yeah, 2021 is they played the stadium course 3 times during that event that year, and then they played either the Nicholas Tournament course or La Quinta. Again, I probably have that information. Why second guess it? Yeah, Nicholas Tournament course and stadium course. There we go. So that was 2021. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, right? Byron, like we go 2022, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we have La Quinta, but then we look at the top 10 leaderboard and oh, Nicholas Tournament course. So isn't that interesting? We just see Nicholas Tournament course and La Quinta. We really don't see stadium course at all. Like starting out at the stadium course. Byron, do we know if our boy Hubbard is stadium course guy this week, starting there? He isn't. Ooh, you got... Now that's lucky. Ben Taylor is though, so I'll automatic cross him out, right? Because you know that trend, just looking at last year, means that none of these guys can even sniff top 10, right? Sam Burns can't even sniff it. I'm joking. That's sarcasm, but anyways, ooh, that does put interesting things, because I could have put like 2 or 3 of these guys together in a lineup. Same with Hoagie, like we were just talking about. Oh my gosh. You okay? Hey, guess what, guys? Okay, we're doing this real quick. Let's see, 2023. I'm gonna add a column. Actually, we're gonna go with wave. That's how we're gonna do this. Since we're not gonna do how are we gonna do this? What I'm trying to do is think of the optimizer. So I've got these groups that aren't being utilized. I'd say group 1 would be like stadium course golfers starting out on the stadium course. Group 2 would be La Quinta, and group 3 would be Nicholas Tournament course. And then just opening this up to, oh, I can. Okay. Yeah. We got this. So we're gonna go down here. They're all AMs, so we don't really have to worry. Let's say if, let's take our filter off here. That way it's easier. Equals if N3 equals LQ, then we'll give them a 1. If not, we'll go if N3 equals NT, we'll give them a 2. Oops. And if not that, then we'll go N3 equals stadium course. Oh, yeah, stadium course will be a 3. Otherwise, we'll just go empty, because whatever. I could have just closed that other one and just put a 3 at the end of it. I know how it works. There we go. So now with this, I'd copy and paste just the values. That way we get rid of the formulas. We can still make these guys out. What I'm going to do with this Oh, come on. Copy and pasting is easy. We're going to copy this over. So, shoot. I don't know if I can do this like properly. I don't remember how I copied it over. Oh my. Because I had a filter on it, and I don't remember how the filter went when I had copy and pasted it over. I don't, yeah, okay. We're gonna do things the safe way. We have to do it the safe way, otherwise we're not gonna get the data that we want. And copy everything over. A little Excel exploration you guys can take with me. I'm gonna go ahead and post that right here since I don't use these, and then go back here and go wave. Copy. Paste right here. There we go. And then we can just do a VLOOKUP. I'm sure this isn't gonna like me though. I'm gonna do an if error. Up. F3. Check these two columns. It's not gonna like. Then we're gonna do that in the group number. Nothing like doing this on the fly. Good thing we're live, right? Because who's really watching this? We just go ahead and click and drag it all the way down and copy everything in. There we go. We got our numbers. That way it is perfect. And by the way, it's going to use this stuff anyways. Let's go 6, 6, and a max of 2. Yeah, I'll do a max of 2. 6, 6, and a max of 2. There, we fixed it. And it will have to choose golfers from these groups no matter what. There we go. We got it done. We got to figure it out. I mean, I think what I might do is just make it 1. Let's make sure it doesn't select. Let's see, what did this one choose? One guy from the stadium course. Man, we got this down. Oh my god. Let's see, did I lose anyone? No, I still have the five people who were listening the whole time. Wonderful. Okay, do we have any new lineups that we want to create? Anybody? By the way, the optimizer will be available. I'll keep this information in there if you find it valuable. I mean, I kind of think it's pretty good. Yeah, Barry, let's go. Nothing like just stat nerding over stuff, right? Some of the same people that the optimizer likes. I think we have, oh yeah, we gave Hubbard a 200-point bump. That's why he keeps getting pulled in here. Ooh, Garrick Higo. Was he on your list, Byron? Of people to play? Ooh, Willie Z gets thrown in there. I wonder if Willie Z, is he at the Nicklaus tournament course? Out of curiosity. Willie Z, where are you? Yeah, Nicklaus tournament. So he's good. Sam Burns is getting the rub. So is Aaron Wise. Davis, Putnam. Hoagie Cage Lee. Wyndham Clark. Windy Clark. Look at... All right, Byron. You know what, Byron? Deal with it. I'm sorry. I was thinking on the fly, forgot, you know. So be it. Deal with it. Scotty, Willie Z, Thigala. Okay. Yeah. I can do that. And we'll put some Johnny Hunt action in there. Do we know what's going on with his injury status, Byron? Yeah. What was he, 6,500? Was that the right price? Or he's somewhere in the 6K range, right? Johnny Hunt. There he is. Johnny Hunt action. Do you like the postman, Mr. Byron? Do you want postman in there? Harmon's just being chosen. Just every single time. Gotti, Willie Z, Thigala. Okay, Barry. Let me do one more thing. He said. Find what you wanted me to start with. It was Cantley and somebody, right? When you're trying to read chat so fast that miss some. You said Cantley and Burns. That's what it was. Just keep track of knife stabbings. That's a very niche thing to do. I'm glad that you're here to let us know about stabbings. Cantley, Burnsy. So it's not going to select anyone else from the stadium course. Well, actually, it does allow one. Oh, D-Tree gets thrown in there. Didn't even choose your boy Hubbard. And it's choosing two guys from the stadium course. Barf. Let's not. Let's just choose one. It's a good lineup. That's a really good lineup, right? It has your postman in there. Has your knifed. Oh, it does not have your knife come in there. Just said no to Hubbard. Like, no, we don't care. You're 1,000 points on the model. We don't like you enough. Oh, breaks the optimizer. So Cantley, Burns starting that way, going with Hubbard, and we said we won't select more than one from the stadium course. Oh, we did have Johnny Hunt in there. He's at the Nicklaus tournament course, so there's two there. Is that what's causing it? I'm gonna change Johnny Hunt to a 1. Remember, he's a 2. Maybe this will help. Doesn't like it. Has everything to do with us not letting it pick more than two guys from the, or more than one guy from the stadium course. Okay. Let's remove that. Let's go on with Barry's lineup builds. Joanne, you taking off? Gotti, Willie Z, Thigala. Hey, Barry, do you want me to only allow one golfer from the stadium course, or do you want two? Gotti, Willie, Thigala. I think Joanne did take off. Ooh, that's a good one. Don't mind that one. Has Hubbard in there because obviously we gave him a 200-point bonus. Ah. Sounds good, Joanne. Have a good night. Okay, I'll do that, Barry. Barry, just to validate or to confirm, you're okay with the max being 3 starting at the stadium course, or do you want me to make sure the optimizer selects 3 from the starting course? Because these are Thursday tee times. Just wondering. I'm gonna go past that song. Yeah, I like that lineup too, Byron. It was great. Selecting 1 from the stadium course here. Oh yeah, I gotta change Hubbard. We're giving him the 200-point Byron bonus. Of course, Barry, if you do like Hubbard, I can keep that there. Can you do players playing SC on Saturday? What do you mean by that? Byron, you can't be serious. You don't know who Bermuda Benny is? Ben Martin? Yeah, but Barry, can you clarify something? You want me to make it pick at least 3 golfers that are playing the stadium course on Saturday? Because I think it's already doing that. So this is group 1. They're starting at La Quinta, and it goes from La Quinta to Nicklaus Tournament course, then to the stadium course on Saturday. So it's already built in. I have the max set at 6. I do have the max set at 6 for group 2, which is the Nicklaus Tournament course, and then I put 3 at the stadium course because I thought that's what you were saying. Like, don't do more than 3 starting at the stadium course on Thursday. Okay. I remember what I asked you. So just so you know, there's a 10-second delay. So when I keep asking questions, which is probably my fault, if I keep asking you questions and you just say yes, I'm not sure what the yeses do. Just letting you know. I'm not trying to make it so I'll be better. I also need to get rid of the delay. So it's not like so long before, you know, I ask you a question and then something comes back. Let's see here. Okay, so we're making sure it selects at least 3. Do you want me to limit the Nicklaus Tournament course? Give me a number. Like, I'm gonna actually change this back to a 2. But if you want me to limit the stadium course, I mean, it kind of already is if we make sure that it selects 1 from La Quinta. Okay, so Scheffler, Zalatoris, Thigala, Brennan Todd, which isn't terrible, Ben Taylor, and Stuart Sink. I don't mind Stuart Sink at this golf course or at this tournament. He's gonna be one of those guys that just cozy ups to all the execs that are at the pro-am. He loves to talk. There we go, Benny Ann, Dietrich. Yeah, hey man, Byron, I don't know about you, but starting with Scheffler, Zalatoris looks really good, and obviously we have Thigala in there. But oh my god, a lot of these just look really good. And I don't mind like Scott Piercy. Like, no one really wants to play him for attitude reason, personality reasons, all that kind of stuff. Okay. 4. All right. So Barry, just so you know, just to remind you, group 1 are golfers who are starting at La Quinta, which means they'll finish at the stadium course. Group 2 is Nicklaus Tournament course. They go the next round Friday to the stadium course, and then Saturday they finish at La Quinta Country Club. And Group 3 starts the stadium course, goes to La Quinta, then goes to the Nicklaus Tournament course on Saturday. So I imagine what you want is 4 guys that are finishing at the stadium course, and you want, actually I'll let you tell me. So let's make, oh no, I have to keep this G1 because I have so many formulas written in, so this has to be group 1. Group 1 just means starting hole equals La Quinta, starting hole equals Nicklaus Tournament, starting hole equals stadium course. Let's put that up. So then finishing hole, let's put that, or finishing course, starting hole. That's not what I meant. Starting course, or golf course. How about that? Golf course. And then we're going to say finishing course equals stadium course, finishing course equals Nicklaus Tournament to stadium to La Quinta. Okay. Or finishing, okay. Okay. Gotcha. So we're going to skip this group altogether, just to confirm. There you go. Benny Ann's in there. You love some Benny Ann. There's your James Hahn. Didn't even have to select James Hahn. Hahn just shows up. Gordon Neesmith. I love Neesmith. Benny Ann, Dylan Fratelli. Ooh, Dylan Fratelli. I think he showed up last year, right? He was one of the leaders, I think, after the Nicholas Tournament course. Gordon Griffin Hoff. Ooh, that's a really good lineup. Ben Griffin and Charlie Hoffman. I love that. Okay, so there's plenty of options. Plenty of options. I do like your thinking, though. I think skipping the stadium course, I have no issue with that. Yeah, that Han lineup was great. All right. Anybody else have any? I mean, Barry, if you want to see more lineups, I have no problem being on here because, I mean, it's already over the 2-hour mark. When I put this, you know, when I set this, well, when I get off, wow. When I end the broadcast, this will automatically get uploaded to YouTube. It's not going to matter if it's 2 hours and 6 minutes versus 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'll be on here as long as you want. I mean, I really have a cap of maybe 2 more hours. Not saying I'll stream for 2 more hours, but I can do this for a couple more hours. So you let me know. If we got any other lineup ideas, let me know. Yeah, I like Gordon as well. Here. So what I'm really interested in is going here and Tom Kim. Kind of mentioned this already. See what kind of Scheffler Tom Kim lineups we can do. There's your boy John Huh. Scheffler, Kim, Hadwin, Poston. Jeez. Poston and Hadwin showing up a bunch. Ramen Cantlay? Sure, I can do that. Scheffler, Kim, Harmon, Neesmith, Benny Ann, Higo. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. We're gonna get past this song. Reevy, Neesmith, Rose, Okay, so I need to pick a third one that I want. I don't want it to select 2 8K golfers, just one. Oh, and I guess I don't care about 6K golfers, honestly. I forgot I even put that in here. I mean, oh, that's right. I kind of do want a 6K, don't I? That's fine. Yeah. We'll do that. I do want a third golfer in here, though. I like Thigala. I don't mind that. Kind of like Taylor Montgomery. Especially if he's going to start at the La Quinta Country Club. Lipsky, Neesmith, Hoffman. That's not terrible. Grillo and Joel Damon. Okay. Stupid song. I have no idea. No idea what some of this music is. All royalty free, copyright free. Past winner, Andrew Landry in this one. Okay, so we said... So, Byron, just to confirm, you would like to put in Grillo, Joel Damon with these two guys? Oh, Joel Damon withdrew. Yeah. That's what I was just... Yep, Barry, you're right. Damon withdrew this week, or today. I can toss Grillo in there, though. Ooh. I like this one. Scheffler, Kim, Hoagie, Grillo, Neesmith, and Lauer. Not terrible. Ooh, here we go. This is a lineup made for you, Byron. Scheffler, Kim, Hoagie, Grillo, Neesmith, John, huh? Let's see. Let's get rid of... I want to open this back up to John, huh? And you liked Cantlay. You liked Burns. And I already figured Burns can't really set up well in here. Yeah, that's right. Hank Lebiota is in for Damon. Ooh. Rose and Poston. Just like, it's almost like Burns and Poston need to be together in all lineups. Let me get rid of this. I also want to open it back up to Stuart Singh. Great, that's awesome. I'm glad, Byron. Cantlay, Burns, Hadwin. Oh, Jason Day. I have a feeling, Byron, you like Jason Day. I just have this feeling. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Not saying it's terrible. I personally can't do Jason Day anymore. If he was like $7,400 and less, and this was the Farmers Insurance Open, I'm putting Jason Day in my lineups, but I don't know about this. I'm gonna open it back up for Sync. Get rid of Day. Try it again. Cantlay, Burns, Hadwin, Dietrich, Grillo. So you don't like Dietrich. And I'm cool with Pat and Kazire getting removed from there. Don't care for Ches Reavie. Move on. Okay, fair enough. Here we go. Great lineup, right? I like Stuart Sink. I don't care much for Brendan Todd, but I don't mind. You've got Burns, Thagala, Grillo, Todd, Sink. Those are pretty great. I want to open it back up to Sink, but I want to get rid of Todd. See if the optimizer will select that again. I am kind of disappointed that I'm not seeing a lot of these guys in here. You know, I would like to see more SH Kim lineups, more Hodges lineups, Smalley even. I might have to force the optimizer to select those guys. Or maybe we just figured out the cheat code. Hey, Barry, sneaky play, man. Sneaky play. I like that too, man. I like that. Let's see, Smalley. Where are we starting Smalley? At a dreaded course. Munoz at a dreaded course. English dreaded. Hodges dreaded. Jaeger, Lipsky. I'm cool with fading Lipsky this week. Taran and Luke List. Like, Luke List would be in a lot of my lineups. Yeah, so with Neesmith and Benny Ann being here, kind of hurts. Because the optimizer is just going to select these 900 point values more often than the other ones. If I were to go ahead and save this, then it's going to take in my exposure levels, which is another sneaky thing to look at. These are the max exposures set by the bucket system as to how much I should play of one golfer. So we got a ton of 11% here, which is actually kind of fine. You know, like Brendan Steele I like, but 11% is totally okay. Here you go. This is the lineup that wins it all. Cantlay, Burns, Thagala, Grillo, Benny Ann, and Stuart Sink. That's a great lineup. Not terrible. I don't really care about Shank. All right, Byron, have a good one. Thanks for joining. Barry, do you want to see Fowler in a certain lineup? Like a certain combo, or should I just stick with Fowler and then see where it goes from there? Cantlay, Harmon, Poston, Fowler, Mitchell, and Lauer. It's a great lineup. I like that one. See, I like Dietrich this week, so I would play as much Dietrich as I possibly could. Ooh, here's a new combination. We haven't seen Sungjae being thrown in the mix. Pretty good. Gordon and Glover. I like this one too. Adding KH Lee to the mix. Kazire and Dietrich. Okay. So I'm going to say no to Harmon. See if it'll be a different combo. I like that one. Now let's get rid of Hadwin as well. But I like this lineup that's on the screen. Zalatoris, Hadwin, Fowler, Mitchell, and That's a really good one. Scotty, Cantlay, and Fowler. Yeah. I can do that. Here's a really good one. I really like this one. Scotty, Cantlay, Fowler. Clear out the rest of these just so it opens it up to many more combos that we can do. Scheffler, Cantlay, Fowler, Dietrich, and Merritt. Dude. That is a really good lineup. I'm gonna have to rewatch this as I build lineups tomorrow just to remember some of these. Martin, but Kirk is involved. That's cool. Dietrich just keeps showing up. Add Poston, Ben Taylor, Ches. Yeah, I don't care for Ches Reeby. We can get rid of him. Fowler, Dietrich, Benny Ann, Lauer. Scheffler, Cantlay, Fowler, Dietrich, and Lauer. That's a good lineup. Yeah, it does look solid. I don't think it was you saying that by the last lineup that I did, but the lineup before. Scheffler, Cantlay, Denny McCarthy, Ricky Fowler, Benny Ann, and Lucas Glover. So I don't know if you have this superstition thing, but I kind of do. I rarely ever see price tags, the same price tag in an optimal lineup or even a GPP winning lineup. So I don't want to see the same price tag as Fowler. Yeah, that's a solid one right there. Dietrich and Sink. Neil, what's up, man? Nice to see you here. First time seeing you in the chat. We are over 2 hours long. If you have any lineup suggestions, I can use the optimizer to build around 2, 3, 4, even just 1 golfer, 5 golfers. You let me know. And it will use the bucket system to build lineups with it. But Barry, weren't we just talking about earlier on that having no 9 or 8K golfers is totally fine? Like that's kind of what we were thinking about, or considering, I should say. Yeah, same. Yeah, so this is another good lineup. Poston, Fowler, Benny Ann, John, I don't care for Shank. I don't know. I just don't care. I like this lineup a lot right here. Hey man, I think you're on something. Scotty Scheffler, Cantlay, and then just putting in Fowler, because I like Dietrich. I have no problem with Dietrich showing up. Like that feels good. Putting Dietrich in there. Also, Barry, I think I have at least one 7K being selected, so I can remove that, and it might select an 8 or a 9K and go with like 2 or 3 6Ks. So let me just try that, see if that actually happens. Oh, never mind. We're already locking in Fowler, so it's just doing this naturally. Yeah, it's already. Here's another good lineup. Kevin Yu, Sign me up. Let's see. Oh yeah, D-Tree. I want to lock out D-Tree. Just too good of a value at his price tag. Yeah, also oh, never mind. I was just about to say I don't think he can do 9 or 8K golfers because Fowler's $7,800, but here we go. Scheffler, Cantlay, Poston, Fowler, Benny, and I don't care about Higgo. Oh, I don't like Jason Day. We know that. Ooh, I could do this. Fowler, Todd, Gordon, and Eckroat. I'm also gonna actually X out Todd. I want to see more like different 7K golfers than the ones we keep seeing. But I like Eckroat. Eckroat's a solid play. Marty Doe going with JT Poston. So it looks like Benny Ann and Fowler are just gonna be tag team champs here. Here's a good one. I like that one. You try one more. Lock in Scotty and Cantlay and Lebiota. See what it spits out. Do you want me to unlock, like, or I should say don't lock in Fowler, or do you want me to keep Fowler with these? Our prayer boy, Davis Thompson in there. Davis Riley I like a lot. Ben Taylor I like a lot. This is such a good template right here. Scheffler, Cantlay, Fowler. What could go wrong? These are too good of lineups, man. I could get stuck here just building those same lineups over and over again. So we want Cantlay, Scheffler. I select the other guys when I'm saying those names. And then we want Lebiota. Leave up Holler. You got it. Breaks, man. Says we can't do it. Oh, I know why it broke. Pick this one. All right, what happened? Scheffler, Cantlay, Poston, Mitchell, Gordon, Lebiota. It's not terrible. Skip this one too. Ooh, inspirational. That's the mood for this song is. Inspire us to build a GPP winning lineup. Poston, Mitchell, Gordon, Lebiota. That's not terrible. Oh, it's gonna keep doing this because I can't. Okay, we gotta give Lebiota a boost here. Otherwise, the optimizer is gonna think it's the lowest scoring guy and want to kick it out. So let's give him a 200-point boost. Remember that, so we can turn it back. Poston, Mitchell, Gordon, Lebiota. Still gonna be the low guy? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So what, we'll make him the high price guy then. Or not high price, but add 300 points to his total. And it'll do the same one, but now it'll kick out the low guys, which is Will Gordon. 6K. Ooh, Barry, we finally got a 9K golfer in there. How do you feel about this one? Scheffler, Cantlay, Cameron Young, Keith Mitchell, Tyson Alexander, and Hank Lebiota. I don't mind it. I like Tyson Alexander. He's a solid player. Chris Kirk, JT Poston. We're going to keep having Poston in here. Hadwin, Benny Ann. Just the same names with Keith Mitchell. Let's remove Keith Mitchell from here. Him, I'm going to get rid of Poston. We keep seeing Poston too many times. We're not seeing any lineup. Whatever you call it. I want to say creativity. That's not the word we're looking for. Then who else? Mitchell and Hadwin. Although they are starting on courses that we like. Rather play Pendrith? Okay, I'll put Pendrith in there. There we go. Another 9K golfer. Harmon. Yeah, I really like Pendrith as well. And he's starting on a course that we're okay with. Yeah, like that lineup a lot. Pendrith, Dietrich. I don't care for Todd, but let's see if it gives me another Dietrich Pendrith lineup. And it does. Grillo. Hey, this is a Byron lineup, but same price tag as Dietrich. Maybe not great for us superstitious people. Rose, Griffin. I don't mind that. I really like Ben Griffin this week. Ben Taylor with Rose. I might have to get rid of Rose because I might just keep selecting him. There we go. Brennan Steele to go with Pendrith and Dietrich. Interesting. 2 low 6Ks. Hey, I like Scott Harrington for what it's worth. I think he's decent when it comes to Birdie Fest. I don't care for Seabez. Get him off my screen. There you go. Oh, another same price tag, but I like that one. Harris English has a lot of upside. Lipsky, don't really care for. Yeah, okay. I was going to say we might be at our end here with 7K golfers because there can only be so many that it will select. We're going to break it eventually. Hey, this one isn't bad. We're leaving $800 on the table. Now, yeah, I think it's running out of options that I can select using Pendrith and Lee Biota to go with Cantley and Scheffler. Okay. I will do that one. Yeah. So we want Thigala and Lee Biota. I do not mind, Barry. I said I could do this for the next couple hours. I certainly can. And Thigala. This will be interesting. We have 7Ks being chosen. Nope. We're good. Yeah. You've got great choices here. Will Gordon, Benny Ann. That's a solid lineup right there in its own. Neesmith. Yep. You might be on something here, Barry. Griffin, yeah, there's a lot of great value in the 7K range. I don't mind that it's just selecting these. I'll probably just... Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually open this back up and get rid of Will Gordon. I really like Will Gordon, by the way. 100% cut made percentage on the PGA Tour over the last year. Yeah, he missed some Korn Ferry Tour events. Cuts there, I should say, but it's fine. There we go. We have Dietrich in there. Huge fan of Dietrich this week. Mitchell, Alexander. Ooh, that's a good lineup. It's a really good lineup. Wow, that's a really good lineup too. Again, it's selecting Mitchell, so I'm guessing Mitchell's a great choice to go with Scheffler and Cantlay. Get rid of Mitchell. Yeah, me too, Barry. Great core. I like 2 6Ks as long as one's a high 6K and the other is a low 6K. I don't mind that at all. Actually, I can change that up right here. Oops. I mean to go 0, 1. Dietrich, Glover. Yeah, I don't mind that. Anything that goes with Dietrich in this lineup, I think is really great. Burke, Griffin. That's a great lineup. You're onto something, man. 10-10-8-7-7-6. We're subbing up from a 9 to another 10. Otherwise, it follows that 10-9-8-7-7-6 model. Love it, dude. This looks good. It's basically picking almost everyone in the 7K range to go along with Lebiota, Thigala, Cantlay, and Scheffler. And I really like a lot of these 6Ks that are actually joining in with this. And I love Dietrich this week. So no Dietrich. Now we put Jaeger in there. That's pretty cool. Well, Barry, what if we think Lebiota is mispriced because he's a Monday qualifier? You know, I mean, we haven't seen him in a while, but if we were looking at price tags from last year, we're looking at like 6,800, 6,700 Lebiota. Are we cool with 6,800 Lebiota? Is it just the price that might be kind of the gross factor in this lineup build? Because it could be a misprice. And if it's a misprice, then that's what, your free square? You'd want to put free square in there? Yeah, so, yeah, this core too. Scheffler, Cantlay, Thigala. It's another good core, man. Scheffler and Cantlay together, even when you put in Ricky Fowler, make some really good lineups. I don't mind playing Danny Willett either. So, hey, man, those are some really good lineups. I don't even know what I want to try out. By the way, anyone else in chat, speak up. You want to see some other lineups? I have no problem doing this whatsoever. Okay, so... Okay, hold on. Here's, I think, another important thing to do when building with the optimizer is kind of going down to your 7K range and figuring out, you know, some of these other golfers that you might like, what kind of lineups you can create with them. So, personally, I'm with you on, like, Pendrith and Alex Smalley. So, and Smalley actually starts on, you know, the bad course, quote-unquote bad course to start on. Now, sometimes you just gotta take that risk, though, Barry. Not knowing if, you know, how well they... I mean, because they haven't played. Ooh, Rahm and Cantlay to go with Pendrith, Smalley, Ben Griffin, and Hank Lebiota. Oh, yeah, we gotta price down Lebiota, otherwise he's gonna continue to be picked. We gave him, what, a 300-point bonus? Oh, two 7K golfers, the exact... I don't want Brendan Todd, so that's an easy pick him out. And just so the optimizer has no issues, I'm going to give Mr. Smalley a little 200-point bump. Yeah, and Barry, what, Barjon finished top 10, didn't he? Yeah. Yep, I can see that too, man. I can see that. Hendrith, Dietrich, Smalley, Harmon, Cantlay. No issue with that lineup. Leaving $600. Oh, wait, whoa. We don't need it to pick a 6K golfer. Don't care for Aaron Rai, honestly. I think he's really good when the courses are tougher. I don't know about Birdie Fest. There's Hubbard. This was Byron's pick. Wanted me to do that with Hubbard. Do we have one 8K? Yeah. Okay, so we can bump this up to 2 8K golfers because that's what the original max projection was for 8Ks. So I'm sure we'll get a couple 8Ks now in here. JT Post. Yeah, we don't like the same price tag guys though, right? Osler, I don't care for him at this course. Like, I don't mind him being in a couple lineups, but I'd just rather not. Gone wrong. 2 8Ks. Interesting. Yeah, get rid of Jason Day. We don't want to see him. It's a good, like, conservative lineup, consistent, like, cash lineup. Cantlay, Harmon. Yeah. I like that. God, I want to play Cantlay, like first feels for me, right? So it's like Cantlay and Will Zalatoris were my two that I was heavily considering building around. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that as is. I do like Taylor Pendrith. I want to put Pendrith in my lineups. And yeah, sure, Smalley. Let's see if I can do a core 4 like this. Dietrich, Nick Tate, yeah, sign me up all day. I like that. Cantlay, Zalatoris, Pendrith, Dietrich, Smalley. Don't care for Shank. Don't care for Shank. Yeah, sign me up with Hoffman. I don't care for, like, I don't mind playing Rose, but if he continues to show up in these lineups, I'm probably going to kick him out. I don't mind Adam Long. He's won here before. Don't mind that at all. Johnny, huh? Sure, we talked about that. I'm actually going to bump my minimum up to 49.5. I don't like... Oops, sending me to save that. Eat. I like Dylan Fratelli. Don't mind playing him either. This is solid. Like, these are all... I like distance. Obviously, a lot of people like distance, but Cantlay can hit it out there. Zalatoris can hit it out there. Pendrith, Dietrich, and Smalley. Like, these are all just deep ball hitters. And then it breaks. So we can't do that much. We can't do much with that. Let's see here. What's another? Like, I wouldn't mind putting Cam Young. Like, making sure it chooses Cam Young. Do you like Cam Davis? Not on the great golf course, but how about Taylor Montgomery? This is kind of your studs and duds lineup. Yeah, Barry, that's when we did the Cantlay, Thigala, and really it was like whether we had two 10Ks, a 10 and a 9K with Thigala, everything seemed to work. Like, and it was like the optimizer had no issues building lineups, and it built some really, really, really good lineups. I mean, the lineup on the screen right now is... I love that lineup. That looks so good. Is Sahith actually at the La Quinta Country Club? Is that where he's starting? I just want to double check. For whatever reason, I'm doubting myself. 86. Yeah, he's at La Quinta. Here's another good lineup on the screen. Man, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, like, you have Alex Small in your lineup. Taylor Montgomery. Let's use like one of those words that I hear online that I think is really weird. Let's get freaky. Let's get freaky with our lineups. It's such a stupid thing to say. Montgomery, what was I gonna do? Put Thigala in there? Was that what I was gonna do? Yeah. Let's see if we can do a Montgomery Thigala lineup and see if it'll like spit out two 6K golfers. It does not like it. We don't have enough salary. Oh, whoa. Get rid of our 7K. Gross. So it's gonna have to grab one of these low. Well, Lebiota could be the guy, right? At 6,100. Let's lock in Lebiota, because then. Where are you at? We'll give him that 300 point bonus once again. Lock him in. Playing at La Quinta too. I don't mind Steele. I mean, we were talking about that earlier. His exposure for me is like 11%. That's fine. I don't want to play him more than 11% in my lineups. Yeah, here's a good lineup. So putting Montgomery, Thigala, Eckroat, Lebiota, Shank. I don't care about Shank. Badley shows up. I'm sure Johnny Ho will be in here. I imagine. Maybe, maybe not. Martin. Hoffman. Yeah, this is a good lineup. Like this right here. I like this one a lot. Okay, cool. All right, last. I think we're gonna probably call her quits here pretty soon. Sure. Yeah. If I was gonna say I'll call it quits pretty soon, but if you've got more lineup ideas, give me fuel. Give me something to continue the stream with. Otherwise, if I have to keep thinking of things to do, I probably sit here twiddling my thumbs for a while. But Thigala, Tom Kim. Check it out. Adwin, Smalley, Libiota. Yeah, of course we have Libiota as like a high price guy, so or a high value guy, and we have Smalley also. So we gave him what, a 200 point bonus, and Libiota we gave a 300 point bonus. Ooh, what do you think about this lineup, Barry? Cantlay, Kim, Thigala, KH Lee, Matthew Neesmith. Not terrible, right? Pretty solid. I really like Tyson Alexander. Like watching him play last week, he was solid. Yeah, we don't like two of the same price guys, but Dietrich being in there with Benny Ann, it's not terrible. I like this lineup a lot. A lot. Because I like seeing Davis Riley in there. I think Riley is a great player. He's going to be a good golfer this year. Dietrich Gordon Glover. It's another good one. Dude, is Sahith just the glue? Putting Sahith with any lineup construction is just... It works. It makes things work. Poston Mitchell. Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like that. Oops, I hit the optimize twice. Gordon Ryder, that's okay. Well, yeah, I like that lineup too. Here's another good one. Yeah, we're on to something, Barry. I think we've built probably 50 like solid lineups. Probably good enough, right? We're giving away too many secrets. We're not going to win any money now. Take out Cantlay and Rom just fits it. Libiota just fits in naturally there. I didn't even have to force him in. That's a good one. Absolutely, Barry. Give me one. Oh, that's a good lineup right there. Okay, let's do it. So many good lineups, so many. Scheffler, Willie Z, Thigala. And Libiota, right? Yeah. All right, let's see it. Mitchell, of course. Gordon and Mitchell. We don't want to see Mitchell that much, though, right? Get rid of him. No. Interesting that it's selecting a guy who's starting on the stadium course. Hadwin, Benny Taylor. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to see Hadwin, though, honestly. it is not terrible. He's a course horse, obviously. Poston, Benny Ann. Of course, we see Poston a bunch too. Just great values. We talked about this kind of during the rankings portion of the video. Dietrich Gordon. Yeah. Yep. Sign me up. All the Dietrich Gordon lineups. I like that. Okay, let's put Fowler in there. See if it works out. I'm sure it will. Yeah, and just replaces Dietrich with Fowler, but let's take out Gordon. Let's see a couple different lineups with Ricky Fowler in there. I mean, I don't mind that. I don't mind this lineup right here. Benny Ann gets thrown in the mix. That's fine. Get rid of Benny Ann. I did two Barry. Dietrich and Gordon together. Pretty solid. Griffin. Okay. We're running out of lineup opportunities. If you've got any more, whether it's Barry or anyone else that's in the chat, let me know. I give you like 15 more seconds since there's a 10-second delay. Fowler, Taylor, Libiota. Barry, you've got me thinking like Scotty or Cantlay. I don't think we go wrong. Zalatoris is a great person to put in there. If not Zalatoris, then Kim. Like no issues there. So it's like those four golfers just mix and matching, like no issues. And then forcing like Fowler or Dietrich or even Pendrith. Yeah, I might just go with like a very, very limited core and just put in all the different combinations with those four golfers in there. Oh, the music is getting serious. Okay. I think, unless I see a lineup in the next 5 seconds, we're gonna call this one a quit, or call it quits. One more. I don't want to see Jaeger. What do I have? I have 4 guys locked in, right? 4 golfers locked in. Sigala, yeah. Oh, I have 5 golfers locked in. Shot like Harden just coming in. Busting through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. I'm late. Harden. Dude. Well, I know that's not your real name. Do you see how long I've been streaming? 2 hours and 48 minutes right now. I can certainly put together some lineups if you'd like to see them, but if you put some combos in that we've already done, I'm going to tell you. Watch a little bit later. But I'm game. Don't feel guilty. Just pretend you didn't hear that. I've been live for 2 hours and some change. If you got some lineups, let me know. Yeah. Barry and I already created GPP winning lineups, by the way. You're so late. Always. Yeah, give me some lineup combos. Barry R will he'll educate you with all the great lineups. I'm just gonna sit back. You and Barry can. Ooh, Scheffler, Montgomery. Yeah, we did some, but we didn't really focus on any Montgomery. I forgot who I put Montgomery with. Scheffler is a great choice, by the way. I love that. What did I do, Barry? Was it Cantlay? Because I was like, these are the golfers I like. I think I went with Cantlay, Tom Kim. It was either Tom Kim, Zalatoris, and then Montgomery is what I kind of started with and went from there, if I remember correctly. Of course, Burnsy. Sad news, Mr. Shot Like Harden. Barry R came across something groundbreaking. He was looking at the last couple years and noticed that golfers who finish the Saturdays round, so the third round at the stadium course, have a pretty huge benefit. And I'll show you. I'll remind you. Not remind you, I'll just show you. So if we go to 2022, and these are the starting courses. So we also figure out the rotation. The rotation goes from La Quinta to Nicklaus Tournament Course to Stadium Course. So then it also goes from Nicklaus Tournament Course, Stadium Course to La Quinta, and then Stadium Course, La Quinta, Nicklaus Tournament Course. So these are your golfers that started at the Stadium Course and their position from top to bottom. Not many golfers inside the top 20. Now, we could also make the argument that there weren't a lot of good golfers in here. I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily say that these are your top end guys. So that's also something to consider. Like, La Quinta had all your good golfers in it, pretty much. So we have a bunch of our top 20 guys here. But if we were to sort top to bottom, we even get some 6K golfers in here. Like, there's quite a few top 20s. And then looking at Nicklaus Tournament Course, it's kind of an even mix. We have Sung Jae, Seamus, and Henley in here. So what we did was kind of use that information and we applied it to the Marquee Tee Time portion of the optimizer. So what we're doing is we're limiting the stadium course, guys that are starting here, because obviously that has shown in the past to not be super successful. We were playing around with this. We had 1 as the max exposure. We put it to 2, kept it at 6 for the other 2 groups, but we have been kind of forcing the optimizer to select at least 3 from golfers that are starting at La Quinta Country Club. I'm going to change it back to 2. But I think this is probably the model that we'd want to do. No more than 2 guys starting at the stadium course, but I think it's probably fair that we don't really select more than 1. Wonder if that's the same thing for 2019. I have 2020 as well. See, I don't remember the course rotations for some of these, so this is probably going to be some more research that I'm going to have to do, but your winner came from the stadium course that started out the stadium course in 2020. So it's definitely viable. I just don't remember the course rotation. La Quinta still has some really good choices there, especially your top price guys. Like, that makes a lot of sense, right? Pretty even in 2020. Probably has a lot to do with weather, honestly. All right, La Quinta. Oh my God, so many top 20s. Only 1 guy in the optimal lineup though. Nicklaus Tournament has 2 more, so that means 3 guys came from the stadium course. Wow. Low price guys? No. Adam Hadwin, 10,000. 64 and then 72. Mr. Postman. Okay. I think there's more research we need to do there. Obviously, the stadium course, if you start there, you're not finishing that round on Saturday. Anyways, so that's kind of what we came across when we were building lineups, is we added that to the conditions down here. You obviously can let me know if you're not feeling that. Can't remember who. There's no one really at the stadium course outside of Burnsy. That's where I was getting at with all of this. That is like kind of a high price guy. I guess Aaron Wise, some of these guys, but probably limit our exposure to the guys starting at the stadium course. I think I'm okay if I get burned that way. Honestly, if I get burned because I don't play more than 2 guys at the stadium course, I think I'm okay with that. But you like Scheffler, Montgomery, so interesting lineup. I don't care for Ryan Moore, but solid. Montgomery Hoagie. We haven't seen a lot of Hoagie lineups this today. Lauer has been showing up quite a bit, so I like that. Lauer's pretty decent. Scheffler Cantlay. By the way, the lineup that Barry and myself unlocked, it was really Barry's doing, was adding 2 10K golfers and then mixing in Thigala. It's been working out pretty decent. Not this week, no. I don't mind Putnam, but I don't think I'm forcing myself to play Putnam. If he just shows up, he shows up. I think that's fine. Barry, I don't know if you're a Twitter guy, but Chad Eckert posted something about let's see. Put this up here. See, it was a post. I guess I gotta go to the injury guy. I don't remember who it is. Injury. There you go. Golf injury report. So this is kind of like your new injury reporting system, and it's not terrible. I mean, the guy predicted Xander actually leaving, and he does a lot of trying to figure this out. Trying to remember which post that Chad said. Basically what I'm trying to get at is Burmester had an issue with a foot. Like, oh, here it is, right here. Broke his toe January 2nd. Chose not to undergo surgery. So, hey, who knows? If you think he's going to tough it out and it be just fine, then go with it. I have no issue with that. I think it's noise for sure, but just giving you a heads up about Burmester. Let's see here. Build a couple more here. I don't care for these $6,100 golfers. Why are we selecting them? Whatever. I guess we can just let the optimizer kind of... Yeah, that's what's great about communicating with several people. Like, you obviously helped me figure some things out last week with Montgomery. You know, we did the whole course rotation while talking to each other. Always great when you can have thinking minds, you know, sharing the information they have. So obviously there are some things I know that you don't know. There's some things you know I don't know. And when we get together, we get to talk about all these things and obviously help each other. So absolutely, man. Scheffler, Montgomery, Hoagie, Dietrich, Gordon, Neesmith. That's a sexy lineup. I like that lineup a lot. A lot. Okay, so you wanted Burnsy and Scheffler, which, of course, when do you not want Burns? Another sexy lineup. Except for Hosler. Like, Hosler's got to be the most unsexy golfer on tour, right? You have anyone else that's like, if you were a chick you would not want to be with? Oh, Libiota, there we go. With Ben Taylor, Will Gordon. That's a great lineup. I like that one. Okay, we're out of here. We're gonna do some Burnsy, Scheffler. Now, Charlie Harden, do you want me to include Taylor Montgomery with Mr. Burns? Or just do Scheffler Burns lineups? I agree, Charlie Harden. I don't really care for Ches Raby. Here's a second one. I like this lineup a lot. Burns, Scheffler, Hoagie, Riley, Dietrich, Alexander. Man, Barry, like, Charlotte Harden just comes in and we see all these new lineups now. It's like we basically built 1,000 lineups and now there's even more. It's crazy. I don't think Xander finishes all three of his rounds. Cantley might be by himself, and he might like that a lot. Like, it's just more reason to actually play Cantley, in my opinion. Here's a really good lineup. Did I already say that? I feel like I already did. Yeah. Poston, Benny Ann, Lips. I don't care for Lipsky. Oh, here's an interesting one. Hold on. Isn't Luke List? Oh yeah, we opened it up to 2 guys starting at the stadium course. I was gonna say Luke List is at the stadium course. I thought we only had this at 1. Burns and List would be stadium courses together. Burns, Poston, McCarthy, Ooh, that's a good lineup. Kind of curious. I'm gonna put Montgomery with these guys. They talk about Trevor Cohn. I do like that. Yeah, Barry, Shot Like Harden goes to all the Texas events. I think you were at the Charles Schwab last year. Yeah, that's what you, yeah, you're already there. You went to the Houston Open too, didn't you? I don't mind Kevin Chappell. I'm just gonna burn through some of these lineups here. I don't care for Shank. Just, he's obviously showing up. He's gonna be just like Siwoo for me last week. Shows up on the optimizer a bunch, but I'm like, nah, don't like it. Here we go, Barry. Put John Hunt in there. Lee Hodges shows up. That's not terrible. Ooh, you went up to Vegas, huh? Did you go up to Vegas to watch golf, or did you go up to Vegas to bet golf? No, I'm just kidding. Just we went up to Vegas to do Vegas things, right? 2 Bens in this lineup. Do 2 Bens make a right? Probably not. Barry, if you don't mind disclosing your location, what state do you live in? If you don't want to, don't share it. That's fine. Sung Kang showing up. Wow. It's the first time seeing Sung Kang today. Philip. Okay, now we're digging at the bottom of the barrel. Okay, so great question, Barry. Yes. So I'm gonna show you something that I've been working on. Here's my database. So I have all these fields up here, and like I mean, I still have things to add, but I have nearly 60,000 lines of data. I'm currently working on putting in my bucket system information here. So I have buckets that I'm adding values to for each tournament, but because I didn't do this all at the same time, I have to do kind of like a cleanup file. And I'm going to answer your question about Showdown content. So I have this cleanup file that you have to delineate between, you know, like Kevin Na playing the Shriners in 2015. So I have to put that together, match it with what I have on the other page. So I have to do all this cleanup data, and like I had this completed already once, or I shouldn't say the bucket part completed, but I had my quote unquote database part completed already. And I just found out by doing the buckets that some of the information in there was actually incorrect. So I had to go back and re-clean it up. So this will drive everything. And you can see round 1 through 4, like all this information in here. This will help me with round by, you know, showdown lineups. So I'll get to see, you know, what their round 1 average is, round 2, round 3, round 4. I won't have round by round strokes gained stats. I started doing that in 2013. So if I were to, not 2013, I'm sorry. 2021. So I have, you know, a whole folder of round by round strokes gain stats. So I'll also be applying this. Let's see when I pull this up. Like, obviously this is one of those rotational courses, AT&T Pebble Beach, but I have round by round strokes gain stats. So eventually I'll get there, but currently as it sits right now, because I don't have anything put into like Microsoft PowerPoint, or Jesus, Power BI, which is what I plan to use and then put it on my website, which I have a website. I just don't have the reports built in there and stuff like that. Long story short, every single week I go through all of my tournaments and I update each tournament, whatever one we're on. So Farmers Insurance will be next, so I'll go through there, and basically each one of these spreadsheets, you can see the bottom, all the tabs here on the bottom. So I have a results page, course history, the golf course, the bucket system, 2023, all this stuff down here. And I basically go in here every single, like every tournament, and I update, you know, I add the new year, and then I update what happened last year in each of these buckets. So it's like it's a race against time, essentially, you know, because like I also have all these other buckets and stuff like that. It's a race against time to get everything done before Monday night when I do the preview video. Once all that's updated, I'm pretty good for the rest of the week. So I'll probably start working on like the Farmers Insurance Open either Thursday or Friday, depending on what I do over the weekend, whether it's, you know, hang out with friends, family, whatever, you know, gotta have a life outside of doing this. But today I spent a lot of time trying to do data cleanup so I can put that into a website, because you want your data to be clean. If your data is not clean, when people go to your website and notice that there are things that obviously don't work or aren't showing up correct, and they look at your stuff versus other people's stuff and go, who's right in this scenario? They find out you're not right, they're more likely not going to use your site. So I got to make sure my stuff is like super clean before I move forward. So in time, I will have a showdown stuff, and it will have buckets to go with that show, because we'll use the buckets to cross-reference that. You know, one of those things that I like to do with showdowns, round 4 especially, is obviously we have our anchor buckets, right? So, you know, this week we know we want somewhere between 1 to 3 last year ones. Well, if on the leaderboard after round 3, let's say we have 13 golfers in that bucket, 7 make the cut, and none of those 7 golfers are inside the top 10 yet, I would hammer this bucket with the golfers that are in it. Depending on whatever their price tag was, I would hammer that bucket. And it's helped me almost took down the Phoenix Open round 4 showdown. Like, it was 2 years ago. I won $300, $400, something like that from it. And that's all I did, is I used the buckets. I used the remaining buckets, whatever the anchor buckets were, looked at golfers that were in the leaderboard. Like, I had updated, you know, I have a position right here open, so I update this and see which, you know, buckets that are in those anchor buckets that aren't inside the top 10 yet, and I just look at the golfers in them and just, okay, well, which ones do I want to put in there? And that's what, I mean, like I said, I'm up lifetime with showdown slates. Is this song? Nothing like a song to like disrupt you. So yeah, no, I think I can provide an edge when it comes to showdowns. It's just, man, there's not enough time. Not enough time. Okay. Shot like Harden, what are we doing? What lineups are we got any more that we want to do? I forgot what you said. Wait. I wanted to add something, right? Or I already did. Yeah, and then we see what a bunch of low 6K golfers. Was I starting this and then didn't finish it? Ryan Stewart, that's your man, right? Putnam Scheffler. Do you want me to also include Burns or no? I would totally do this lineup if it wasn't for Wierenski just sucking terribly last week. I like the idea of this lineup a lot. Like, to me, I feel like there's a lot of potential right there. Okay. Putnam's what, 8,000? Or was Putnam? 8,700. That's a gross price tag. Just throwing that out there. Give him a little bump so the optimizer doesn't. Remember, it's a 100-point bump. I'm gonna have to remove them. No Burns in those? Okay. I don't think the optimizer will select Burns, so I'm not gonna select no for him. Scheffler, Putnam, Hadwin, Mitchell, Dietrich. How do we feel about that one? We liking that one? Maybe get rid of Hadwin. Well, Barry R and I have just seen nothing but Keith Mitchell lineups, so we can get rid of Keith Mitchell, and then also had Adam Hadwin too. I like this one. Of course, Adam Hadwin shows up. Of course. Let me know if you like if you like Hadwin or Keith Mitchell. I'll continue putting those guys in there. Glover Alexander. Okay. I'll keep Hadwin available. Here's a good lineup. I like this one. Very balanced. Like if you're doing a league lineup or a cash game, this is a pretty good lineup. That one. There you go. Had one in this one. Of course, Barry and I don't like two of the same price guys together. Not a terrible one though. Scheffler, Putnam, Poston, Rose, Dietrich, Griffin. A good one. He sure can. I like Munoz. Lock him in. Poston, Rose, Munoz. Let's not do Rose. Unless you like Justin Rose. I can keep him in. Dietrich and Munoz scored him. A good one. Lock in Hadwin. Let's see what that does. Didn't break it, so that's a good start. It limits our lineup building because keeping a 7K in there with two 8Ks, it really can't do anything. Okay. So I'm just gonna open this up. You want me to pick a 9K golfer with this? Yeah, Optimizer does like Poston. He's just a good value for his price tag. Same with Keith Mitchell. Ooh, Scheffler, Cantley, Putnam. Don't mind that. Really kind of sticking Cantley in there. It's not terrible. I do like seeing a 9K golfer to go along with these. It's another good one. It's a really good one. I like that one a lot. All right, man. You got any other ones? I'm gonna, this is a scapegoat answer. I think a 10K golfer actually wins this tournament this year. Unlike in last couple years with 6Ks and 7Ks basically doing all the work, I think a 10K golfer wins this year. Personally, I think my brain is telling me Scottie Scheffler will win. My heart's telling me Cantlay will win, and I think my gut is thinking Jon Rahm is going to win. I think Rahm might have Rahm could literally have one of the best. You exclude Tiger. I think Rahm could have one of the best seasons on PGA Tour. I think he has something, he's got a hunger inside of him. And obviously starting at the Tournament of Champions, winning that one, you know, and playing really well the year before. I think last year what teaches Rahm about this event is just to stay patient. Maybe don't let our tempers flare. And I think he can do really well at this course. Plus, it's another year to see the greens and stuff like that. I think it's fine. If I had to pick one, I think Scheffler wins. I think Cantlay has a really good there's a good likelihood that he finishes inside the top 10. So I wouldn't even mind playing like these Cantlay Scheffler lineups, especially the ones that Barry R and I were creating. Like they're so good. Like I don't see why to fade something like that. I think it's definitely doable. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I'll put Jon Rahm in probably 5 lineups, 5 out of 100 lineups. And these 5 lineups will probably be, you know, some of my higher entry fee contests just to, you know, hedge against myself. I'll probably put him in with a lot of the cores that I'll play with Scheffler and Cantlay. One guy I think I'm just totally fading. I shouldn't even say totally fading. I'll also put Finau in like 5 lineups as well, but he will be in like winner take all, like the 50 cent or the 25 cent winner take all lineups. I'll probably just strictly put him there in case he does well. I can recoup my money because I usually put like 50 bucks in every week. So I think that's one way I can hedge against myself, but I really, and I'm playing like maybe one lineup of Xander, and I do not trust the fact, I think it would be silly to play Schauffele. I think this is an auto fade, easy auto fade. So really like Cantlay and Scheffler, I'll probably play them both 60% of my lineups, maybe even 70% of my lineups. And it's a coin flip. I have no idea who's better than the other in this situation. Because who's Scheffler playing with again? Oh, he's playing with Finau. Yeah. Maybe Finau's the play. I don't want to. All right, gentlemen. I think I'm gonna call her quits. The voice is starting to go. 3 hours and 20 minutes is pretty solid. I'll answer any other blaring questions. I have no issue doing that, but I think we're shutting down mentally, vocally. But I'll stay on. answer some more questions if you have any. Absolutely, man. All right. I think we'll call her quits then. Absolutely, Barry. And good luck to both of you guys as well. So, with that being said, and I have to do this manually. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.